Maybe. All right. The crew is here. We are so excited because if you don't know, it's Prince's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure everybody had an amazing time last night with the one and only Eric Leeds, the one and only Jesse Johnson, the one and only Morris Day and the Times, St. Paul, Savannah, Jerome, Jelly Bean.
Name.
All right. So before we get this conversation started, we definitely want to take a moment to celebrate. We don't want to be sad about Pepe Willie, who passed away this week. We want to celebrate Pepe because he is literally the godfather, in my personal opinion, of the Minneapolis sound.
Yeah.
I say.
Yes. And he graced us with a book. So if you don't know about the book, I highly recommend that you go get the book, If You See Me.
Yep.
And it was released by the Minnesota Historical Society. So now's your time to pick one up.
Man.
And before we get started, the one
my man say, if you see me walking down the street one day.
Yes.
What was that?
Said, do yourself a favor.
What was the other? Was some Loving Cup or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Loving Cup. Yes.
Yep.
I love that one.
Somebody in my family who is not really a Prince fan like that. I think it's my sister, matter of fact. I don't know how she come up on it, but she loved that song. Like she played that for me. When she, this is a Prince. I was like, no, she's like, this is my favorite Prince song. Yeah.
It's an amazing song. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Pepe Willie released, well, I have the original version, which is Minneapolis Genius.
Yep.
But it's been re-released multiple ways. You can find it as 94 East. You can find it as the Cookhouse Sessions. It's like, it's really, really good music, good songs. It's like Prince's first time in the studio, as a session player. I mean, as a teenager, and it's like just really phenomenal. And for those of you who don't know me, the Do Yourself a Favor song originated with Pepe, and his version of the song, which is on Minneapolis Genius, is called If You See Me.
Yep.
So I've always wanted to know, like, Jesse's version sounds like Prince's version. So did Jesse hear Prince's version and not the Pepe's version?
He did. Yeah, I think he says he got the cassette from John McClane, which was back then. He was like, oh, I need that. Let me get that.
Yeah.
So that's why his version sounds like the Prince, because he's just literally doing the Prince version.
Right. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Before we're not going to stop talking about Pepe, but the one and only Michael Dean did an amazing interview with Pepe back in 2021.
2021. Wow.
Yes. So if you haven't checked it out, even if you did in real time, now would be a really great time to revisit that conversation. Yeah. And also, I just want to take a moment to thank Mr. Michael Dean for gracing us with so many amazing interviews. I still say that you are the best interviewer in the Prince game. I really do honestly, sincerely mean that. And you've been putting in the work for decades. So thank you for, these amazing conversations, especially as we all get older and all the players get older. These interviews and conversations are so critical. So I just really want to thank you so much, Michael, for all that you have done.
I appreciate it. And I will say salute to everybody else who's doing the interviews and stuff today. Dope stuff. So everybody's putting in their stuff.
All right. So I am so, look at Cassandra. Cassandra is in Minneapolis, but still taking time to connect with us this morning. That means so much to me, Cassandra, and also to all of us who are not able to be in Minneapolis. So thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. And yes, we got to give some kudos to Michael.
Yeah.
Dr. Claude saying one of the first times I remember hearing the Prince podcast was the interview with Des.
Yeah.
A timekeeper is saying, take these flowers, Michael.
That's right.
And
Take that.
Whoa. No,
you're right. You can't do that no more. My bad. You can't do that no more. My bad. You can't do that no more.
No, sir. Keep that.
And so we got some more. Thank you, Mr. Deans. And we got Lisa with Happy Prince Day, P-Fam. And Cassandra says, oh, yeah, I love my tribe. And we love you, Cassandra. Like, celebrate for us in Minneapolis. Like, for all of us. Really appreciate that. And yes, we have definitely heard the beautiful acoustic version of Free. It is definitely gorgeous. Yeah. I want to know the date. That's when I know he said 2008 in the song, but is that really the date? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think I've seen somebody say online that Charles Spencer said it was 2008, but I could be wrong.
All right.
And that's what I was interested about, because covers mean something to me. And I didn't understand I get it's Free, it's from 1999, but I think that's also the confusion, is the cover is echoing 1999 era, but it's 2008. And so, I mean, I kind of get it, but I would have liked for it to have been a more 2008 cover to be more reflective of the song. But it goes back to what we were talking about last Saturday about marketing. And they know that more people are going to know the 1999 stuff than what, because it was 2009, we got the 3-album CD, with Minneapolis, MPLS, and Lotus Flower, and that third one. And so, so that's what I think was throwing everybody, is we get the 1999 kind of cover art, but it's really a 2008 version. But either way, it's a beautiful, beautiful version.
It is definitely a beautiful version.
Just wanted to add to that. I was thinking that last night, and I was like, man, this is dope. I love this. But it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, I think I've seen a picture online. It's like, to a Prince fan, these songs mean everything. Like, it has, the proper imaging needs to be there. You wouldn't put, a Sly Stone picture from the very first album and then have something from Riot,
right,
to be the song. Like that would be like, what the hell? Or a Stevie Wonder song from the Jungle Fever soundtrack, and then show a little Stevie on the cover.
Right.
I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? So to me, it's sort of the same thing. They have to understand that these aren't just songs. All of this stuff really does matter. And as particular as Prince was himself with these things, you kind of want that to carry over, for the people in charge. But this is a dope release.
It's an extremely dope release. I'm really grateful because, the people at Celebration, got to experience it and listening to it in Paisley Park on the soundstage, which is always amazing because the soundstage acoustics is otherworldly. I mean, I really love hearing music in that space because it sounds so different. But for us to get it at the same time, I think is like really, really special. So before we move forward, I just want to say that April was first in the chat, and we just got to say Nick Felden was second. And we want to say rest in peace also to Wayne Lewis of Atlantic Star.
Secret lovers. We are. Man, that video stayed on rotation.
Man, what you talking about?
I wanted my curl to be like that. So like, the old brother. Light skinned chick. Oh, come on, let me get that.
And you know what I always hated about that video was, how many secret lovers out there? Hey, why y'all out here dry snitching? Shut up. Out here dry snitching.
Right. And I didn't even know what they meant back then. I was like, oh, that's something to think. But now I realize what it really was. Like, whoa, sneaky leak.
And what was crazy was that was out just a little bit before then. Steven come with Part-Time Lover. I'm like, hey, what is going on here? Got Secret Lover, Part-Time Lover.
What were our parents on?
There you go, exactly.
Everybody was creeping.
Everybody was creeping. Oh my God!
I don't know my daddy. No,
look here! All you needed was that Johnny Taylor. Who's making love?
Wow.
To your old lady. Wait. Okay, let's bring it
back. Okay. We also had Christina, third in the chat. Sophie, Duke Swan, Ronald Dagley Jr., Theo. We got Lady Cab Driver, Dr. Claw, Man Ray. Oh, I know what's going on. I forgot to turn this on. Okay, there we go. Tanja. I don't know why I won't stay on, because that's a good feature. Chris Bournet, Gabrielle, EA, Blake Brown, my alliterative brother, Dorothy Edwards, Andre, what up, though? And yeah, I think a TP, Love Sexy 71, Tanja, and Sister Charles, and I think I got, Heavenly Games, Real Line of DJ. And yeah, now I'm all caught up. Okay. Now, one of these comments that I really
and you know what, Blade Brown? If you're gonna put that out there, you got to end with, you got to get on out of here with that Alley Cat coat wearing, Hush Puppy shoe wearing, crumb cake I saw you with, because you dismissed, silly rabbit. Tricks is for kids. You without me is like cornflakes without the milk. It's my world. You just a squirrel. Don't touch that coat. There you go, Blade Brown.
Man. In the quantum realm, they would have had a remix back then, and they would have had Morris on the track.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That would have been awesome.
Yes, it would have. And also, we want to welcome Lee Christian. Hello.
Country. I'm going to start calling Lee Controversy.
No, we want to welcome Lee into the space. All right. So if everybody should know that what went down last night. I mean, if you're on your social medias, I'm grateful for everyone who posted clips. It was really fantastic.
Shout out to Casey Rain.
Yes, shout out to Casey. Yes, doing all the documentation is really, really important. I really loved actually that Casey posted the video for I Can't Resist, which is one of my favorite Jesse Johnson songs. It was like really, really incredible. And I actually haven't seen any. Oh no, yes, I did. I saw a little bit of the family footage, Screams of Passion, and Morris is always amazing. So I'm sure everyone had a really great time. Oh, Christina was there. Yeah, tell us, Christina. Tell us how amazing it was, and let us know like what were your highlights from the concert. Were there any songs that stood out? Was there, one of the sets that resonated with you more than others? Anything that they may have said in between songs that we should know about? Let us know, Christina. And thank you so much for being here while you're celebrating. But you live in Minneapolis, so yes, really, really love.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was saying, did you see the list of songs that they played? The unreleased songs?
Yeah, I saw the list, but I can't remember. The list. But the one thing it seems like was said that this won't be the last time that you hear these songs.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that means box set. I don't know, but that's just me.
Interesting, because it sounds like the songs are coming from different
eras. Yeah.
I'm curious how they would package that together, if that's what he meant.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant it that way, but it seems like that they're coming out. Maybe they're going to do what they did with Free, like have them stream or something like that. And I really wanted to, since we're celebrating Prince today, really wanted to highlight this comment from K Cool Music. Prince always taught me to love God, love life. Yeah, sexy. Love this. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, we got to definitely, Karan says, big thanks to the Purple Peeps for sharing the footage. It's really, really, really.
Absolutely. I think I saw somebody else mention this with these live streams. Boy, that really shows that there's an opportunity for them to be like, live streaming this stuff too. I'd pay for it.
I would pay for it. I would so pay for it. Yeah, it would be a no-brainer.
Give me a super chat.
Yeah, I would definitely pay for it. Oh, and Christina says, I wasn't there. I was just grateful that they allowed phones so I could view it. I'm still in Seattle. Still in Seattle.
Yeah, Christina, get back there.
All right. Okay. So, just a couple more things. Today is the 7th day of June. And I kid you not, I was walking in New York City last night, a little sad that I wasn't in Minneapolis. And I looked through this window and there he was in this hotel lobby.
Wow, that's crazy. And you just happened to have that shirt on.
Yes. So this happened last night. And I guess he was like, I got you. He was like, don't be sad. It's just like, Paisley Park is in your heart. So I was like,
crazy.
Yeah. And I love this. It's a painting. And I don't know if you can see, but his hair is flowers. And it's a really amazing painting. So it was a nice find because I didn't
just in a hotel.
Yeah, it was just in a hotel lobby, or like an apartment lobby. It was somewhere in Chelsea, New York. I don't know exactly where it was, and it was like one of those doorman situations. And my husband was like, "Look at the shirt. She wasn't like let her come."
You're like, come on in.
Yeah, so they said, come on in. So it was really nice. And then this is in the accompanying video. It's like this very short, small clip of Prince walking into his 27th birthday, which was, 40 years ago on June 7th, but it was actually on a Friday. I don't know who this person is behind him because it looks like Eric Leeds, but Eric Leeds wasn't that old back then. So I don't know who this person is.
Old man Eric Leeds from the future.
Yeah, like from the future. Going back.
A little more swag to him. But.
Yeah, I don't think it's Alan. I don't know who this is. So if you go to the accompanying playlist and you watch this little video, it's right at the top. Please let me know who that possibly be. Yes, maybe it's another lead we don't even know about. All right, so we are week 23 of What Did Prince Do This Week, and this is a very slow read of We Know Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions. I love C. Lee has his book up. Let's just go ahead and get the party started. There you go. And this is the updated paperback version. But if you're like Michael Dean, you have the one where you can hit somebody with. And
shout out to Bomani Jones, one of my favorite podcasters. He actually has the book on his shelf right over his shoulder. So
nice.
You can go to the Bomani Jones show and you can see, hey, and I don't know if it's been there the whole time, but I only recognized it yesterday when I was watching Bomani's show. So.
And in salute of that, can we go to full screen on Seeley real quick?
Yeah.
I love it. So Seeley, he's rocking the tribute to Morris and them, because move your head just to the side, Playboy. You got the iron up there, with a little so salute.
There you go.
I love it. I wouldn't have never noticed that. Okay.
Details.
So details. We're going week to week, not date to date. This is the detailed schedule, bit.ly link, as well as QR code. We already talked about the book. And these are archived at Polish Solid as well as at MD. Thank you so much for those of you who have been hitting the like button. Please, let's hit the like button. Or especially today, because it's Prince's birthday.
Yes.
And we just want to spread the word of what Prince was doing on his birthday 40 years ago. I think that's a really important information, and it's such an amazing time in 1985. All right. So this is our hashtag WDPDTW. The estate of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with this. This is an independent endeavor. And our community guidelines are: we choose to be a community even when we disagree. It's really important. And we got Pablo, who is sending us purple love from London. Thank you so much. Glad you're celebrating the genius of this man and the contribution he made to this world. Love him until the end of all time. Please keep doing what you do. Thank you so much, Pablo. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. All right. So we started off the set with one of my probably my favorite song off. What? That's not true. My second favorite song off of Times Square, which is Kenya, and Kenya is composed by Eric Leeds, but you got Prince on drums. So this is a Prince drum track that you heard. And let me just play a little bit more. Let me look for you. That's Prince right there.
Get him, Prince.
Yeah. Love this track. This track is so incredible. We can play it again in the background because I never get tired of it. And so again, we are week 23, episode 125 of What Did Prince Do This Week? And this week there's one song and 2 studio sessions. Oop, I forgot to hide that. And then this is what happened, but we're not going to talk about it. You can see the black means that he wasn't in the studio. And then in 19...
Is this something new?
What's that?
Is this something you knew you doing? I don't remember.
Oh, no. Well, I guess it is.
Color coding, peach and black.
I was gonna say, see, peach and black already.
Okay.
You're right on the peach and black.
No.
Hey, let me remind myself, D'Angelo is a Prince fan.
There you go.
And also, we got to be coordinated, right?
Right, and with the designer's background. So.
Yes, that's right. We got to be coordinated. But no, the reason why I did the black was because he's not in the studio on these dates, but something happened. So I wanted to be able to distinguish between studio dates and other stuff. So that's what's going on. Welcome, Mr. Ricky Wyatt.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Rick?
I brought your ass on here.
Hey, man. Brother, you know, hey, look, I'm always late to class, but I'm always here. I may be late, but I'm here.
There you go.
Right on.
All right, Ricky. You know what? That is a public service announcement for all students out there. I will tell you as a faculty member, I'd rather you be late and show up than not show up.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Rick, man, the next week from moving forward, the podcast starts at 11:45.
There you go.
11:45. Okay.
You be right on time. Let me stop.
Oh my God, that's funny. You know, I have this friend. Oh, well, he's not a friend, but he's a coworker. He told me
Damn, he's not.
that he said that if you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
That's his philosophy.
That's when pledging was a thing, they would tell us on time is late. Yep. So, try to be there early. Yeah,
for sure. All right. We got
man, we need people here. Okay, hit the like button, Peach. We only got 8 people here on the likes. Come on.
Did this right here.
Okay.
That's cool. I did a Prince party with my kindergarten students during snack time.
There you go.
I played some live tracks since it was so hot in Jersey. I bought them some grape.
Oh,
boy, that's what I'm talking about.
Man,
Prince for the kids. Prince for the kids.
Oh, we got to keep spreading the love with the kids.
It ain't nothing like the icy cup.
Yep. So, Ricky, do you have on like a TV or something?
Oh yeah, I do actually. Sorry. I was
It's very distracting.
I listened to Alan Leeds talk. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Play it off. Yeah, that's Alan Leeds. Turn Stephen A. Smith down.
Okay, so since you're here, Ricky, I'm gonna make you do the reading.
All right.
Yeah. It's gonna be Sunday, June 2nd.
Sunday, June 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
It's my Lion brother's birthday. All right. Unnamed song. Tracking improbable overdubs. Living Doll. Possible overdubs and mix. For Love. Listed as For Love. Possible overdubs and mix. Sunset Sound Studio. 3 p.m. to unknown. Booked Lockout. Producer Prince. Artist Prince and Jill Jones. Engineer Peggy Mac Leonard. The Prince quote, "Until one actually sits down and talks to me, they can't really know me." All right. No one really knows Prince, agreed Jill Jones. People think they do, but none of us does. By most accounts, Prince had a volatile relationship with Jones. Okay, to be real honest, I think For Love might have been the most honest part of our relationships, it reveals Jill. They had lived together and she knew him intimately, so they understood how to push each other's buttons. But at the same time, they also say respected each other enough to express themselves artistically. The studio seemed to be their sanctuary, according to Jones. I can't recall any fighting when recording, so I think that we just got along at the best in the studio. Prince was preparing for a week of shooting videos, so it is likely that the new song he recorded today was an unnamed instrumental. Prince left after only 2 hours, but they reportedly returned 6 hours later at 11:30 p.m., wanting to record for the rest of the night. I think that was when he was clubbing or he had a meeting. Okay, recalls Peggy Mac. He never told me what he was doing, just I'll be back at 8. I was like, okay.
Well,
Sometimes he didn't make it back. That's the hardest thing. So just sitting there waiting and then trying to get your energy up to get going once he got there. It's likely that Prince worked on additional overdubs for some of the tracks he'd recently recorded for Jones. During the late night sessions like this, he'd reach out to people so he needed in the studio. But Prince's schedule often conflicted with the sleep of those around him. I got such a phobia when the phones would ring past 3 in the morning to remember it's windy. I'd be like, oh God, I don't want to answer it because it meant you'd have to be there on the plane in 3 hours. Or he'd call you and say, like, what are you doing? I'm sleeping. Well, I'm cutting.
Lord.
You're missing. Prince didn't seem to comprehend the difference between someone not wanting to do something and not being physically able to do it because of exhaustion. He got confused when others couldn't keep his schedule. Okay, because he seemed to feel that they weren't interested in participating according to Jones. Yeah, Prince, no excuses. He would get so hurt when you finally were like, no, I'm not doing XYZ. He almost looked at you like he didn't understand. He probably was trying to figure out the words to fire somebody. He did have his cognitive skills of understanding another person's boundaries. And instead of confronting you, he just cut it short and move on. He wasn't interested. So that's why I've often thought, must have been something else going on with that. After this session, Prince put Jill Jones's album to the side until late July. Woo! That says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
That says a lot, boy. They must have one of them fights. You like, oh, okay. I got something to say. You want me to keep going?
Yes, keep going.
Okay.
Like, let me show you.
All right, so eventually, Prince and Jill recorded a follow-up track for For Love. Prince was like, well, I know we did For Love and we should do it for Lust. Oh, boy. He's the makeup artist, ain't he? Just be finding ways to get back in good graces. All right. She remembers, and we were really getting along really, really, really great. And unfortunately for us, once we started focusing back onto the music stuff, then you couldn't be together anymore. Then you couldn't just hang out. That was the drawback. Prince's behavior during this week changed slightly as he had been spending more time outside of the studio with Jones. Working together put a little damper on it. We were really getting along. He was having fun. He was actually going out of the house, doing things. It was really chill.
It's the other book.
Not everything had anything to do with music. Going to the movies again, doing stuff that had been done earlier, like in 82, 83. And then one day I was with his dad, just sitting in the house, and his dad was like, okay, Delilah. And I was like, Delilah? Like in the Bible? He goes, yes, because he doesn't want to work. Although Prince took a brief respite. Is that respite or respite? Respite on recording during the part of June. Oh, it's what?
It's respite.
Oh,
yeah.
respite On recording during the part of June, he quickly reverted back to his old habits and his regular schedule in studio. It is unclear when For Lust was recorded, although it was likely during this period. It remains unreleased. Boy, I tell you what,
Wow.
if that ain't a I'm a player section of the book, but they beefing and fighting. Yeah, I'm mad at you. I got a new song for you. Oh yeah, what's it called? For Lust.
Well, I want to know because I got something else from this chapter. What I got was the conversation with John L. And I want to know, C. Lee, did you watch the Earnhardt documentary yet?
Have not yet.
Okay.
I am on it, but I have not yet.
Okay. So because like what I heard in this just little short passage, and that's what's so powerful about this documentary, and again why I have a better understanding of the father-son dynamic, is that, and I know this from my own mom, she can just give me a look and I will just change my whole tune.
Hey, look, well, that's most African American mothers back in the day.
Yes. And so, like, if Prince heard, because I'm sure even if Prince wasn't present when John L. said that to Jill, I'm sure Jill probably told Prince. And if that happened, that might have like, okay, my dad is saying I'm not spending the time in the studio like I need to be. Let me get back to the studio. Like, so I'm curious, like, how do you feel about this comment from Jill, but actually from John L. to Jill? And I feel for Jill because, you know, she's just like having fun. And then you're going to have someone call you Delilah. That's got to be not fun. I mean, that's got to be like a little deflating.
The parents calling you that.
Yeah, the parent.
Well, you know, this kind of goes to more evidence that Prince's dad was, you know, dare we say, you know, I think wanted him the best, wanted him to be the best musician that he could be, and you know, staying focused and all those type things that he would tell him and Andre, you know, back when they were growing up about rehearsing instead of chasing girls and doing things like that or whatever. It plays into that narrative, and so, you know, on one hand, yeah, I mean, you know, that's not a complimentary character from the Bible to be named after or to have some, you know, a comparison given to you. Certainly not flattering.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Jill was kind of hurt by that.
I'm sure.
You know, I mean, more than what the words Duane wrote and conveyed. I'm sure that probably was, you know, not, you know, kind of heartbreaking. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, and then to have the album scrapped, I mean, you know, or just kind of like put to the side, you know. So, because didn't it say I'm just glancing back at it, but he said that they were spending a lot of time together, right? Like going out to the movies and hanging out, kicking it and doing things. So, yeah, that's whew.
Yeah, you know, just this little section right here. To me, it's just, I don't know, it's telling and it sort of foreshadows, and it just, you know, I don't know. After some of the comments Jill makes later, more currently, when you read this, it does hit a little different. Like, I'm like, wow, I didn't really look at it like, you know. And I guess this is one of those things, you know, we're all human beings, and as much as, you know, we've sort of only seen the snapshots of things that are going on, probably taken out of context and certain things. And then when you sort of step back and you get more information, you start reading it. I don't know. It's just he was in a very interesting place at his time. Honestly, very young person. It's still, you know, wrestling with, you know, becoming the man he's going to later be, and some of the behaviors that he has here. I can see how a younger kid sort of develops into these types of behaviors for whatever reasons that may sort of spawn that. But then when you sort of throw like, you're the man and everybody sort of works for you, can't nobody tell you nothing. You know, you can kind of see the throughway a lot of this stuff. Just what Wendy said, you know, sort of have a phobia, you know, sort of fear of somebody about to call you to do something. That's, you know, it's not funny when you read it, but actually I think in real life that's probably not funny at all. It's like, man, I wouldn't want, when I listen to the music, that's not the feeling that I think of when I'm like, this is what, what environment happened when they were making this stuff. So it's a fascinating look at, what it took to be Prince. Okay.
Mike, it's funny you said it, because I'm thinking like, man, see, if I was in the band, like, would I have mind him calling me at 3 a.m? Hey, Rick, man, we couldn't come through,
Right.
Like me now, or me at, 13 and 85, I would have been like, oh, look, I'm game for that. You know what I'm saying? But having gone through like what, the stuff that they were going through, it probably was a bit taxing, because everybody gets downtime away from work, whether I don't care what your job is. I know you clock your time and then you leave, and so you have some time away. Theirs was like, hey, look, you on the clock.
And you gotta deliver. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a master surgeon calling you at 5 a.m, like, yo, come here right now. We got to get through. We're doing open heart surgery. It's like, it's not doing light work. You were working with Prince, so everything is top. Not, you got to be on point, because this brother, he ain't slept, man. He's going crazy.
He couldn't.
I can be intimidating, I would imagine.
Yeah. So a couple of things. The first thing for me was, I'm really glad they mentioned For Lust, because I would always hear For Lust and I always liked the For Lust song, and that to me was the real song, other than the For Love song. So it was to know that they were, because I always thought they were the same song, but I wasn't sure if they were essentially the same song. And so I'm glad to at least get a little tidbit about that. I think the second part is, and I was watching some comments in the chat, and how I want to couch this. I think that we can be nuanced, and that people can be what we call helicopter parents in different ways. Just because John L. may not have been the perfect parent, or may not have been, because I saw, and again, I'm really kind of tap dancing, but so I know when Brother Lee put in the chat that like John L. wasn't as invested in Prince's career as Joe Jackson, I don't know what evidence I would have to say that. Like, I don't know, just because Prince and his father had issues. I mean, I don't know if we could say that John L. wasn't invested in Prince's career. Like, I don't know. I know that, and I'm glad, I can't remember if it was Brother Dean or Rick, Brother Rick said it. Andre has always been complimentary of Prince's dad as a mentor. Andre has said that he loved Prince's dad. Andre has said that some of the best advice he ever got about being a musician was from Prince's dad. So it's interesting that I know we all kind of feel some kind of way because we look at John L. as not probably the greatest father figure. But I maybe took some things differently. So when we're talking about the piano and the microphone and Prince is talking about his dad, I didn't take it. Well, and again, and because I guess I'd say I had conversations with Prince about his father. And he didn't seem like a man who hated his father. He didn't seem like a man who begrudged his father. Yes, there were problems. Yes, there was issues. But he also said his father is the reason why he became one of the greatest musicians on the planet. So do I think that John was probably overreaching in talking to Jill? Probably. But that a lot of parents are really, let me say it this way. When I was 9th grade, I was dating a girl that was 12th grade. And my mama hated that little heifer because that's what my mama called her. Why is that little heifer coming over here for my baby? Why? She called her a 12th grade heifer. That's what my mama called her. And the girl would come to the house and knock on the doorbell in the middle of summer. My mama would go to the door, look out there and see it was her and not open the damn door. And then wouldn't tell me the girl was standing out there on the porch. So John, that's not ironic that he would be a parent who would think about some love interest that might not be right for what he sees for his child or his son's future. And so that I'll just leave it there. But I think that a lot, and I think somebody put here, are we making John L. Francis L, right? And so I think we have to give John L., I'm not going to say some grace, but that just seems like to me a man who may have been overstepping his bounds, but overstepping his bounds because he may want the best for his son, even if he wants the best for his son, and maybe not doing it in the right way. I'll shut up.
So one of the things I want to put on the chat here, El Michelle, I really like this comment, no room for trolling on this year chat space, especially on Prince Day. We definitely want to keep it respectful. I think it's really important to be respectful. And I mean, I'm just going to, normally I wouldn't just be this blunt, but I'll say it. I mean, I've met Maite. I think she's an amazing dancer. I've read a book. I thought her book was great. I have nothing but respect for Maite. And Prince didn't marry Maite. So we have to respect Maite. But she seems to be a lovely human being, in my personal opinion. But I don't know her like that. But we definitely want to stay positive today, of all days, because it is Prince Day. So we have Kale Heads here. Blessings to everybody. Yes. So Kale Heads is seconding C. Lee's comments about Andre's repeatedly stating that John L. gave great advice.
C. Lee, let me just say, man, I understand your plight. You know, man. Your mother didn't understand. She was just a friend. Somebody that man you could just talk to.
There you go. Thank you, brother B.
Oh my God!
She was just getting me ready for high school. That's all. Let me see.
You know what I'm saying?
What you gonna need in high school?
No, she was just looking out for you.
Yes. All right. So now we're gonna move on to Monday, which is copies of songs. Celie, do you mind reading that one?
Monday, June 3rd, 1985. Copies of songs, copy various tracks. Sunset Sound Studio 3, 2 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Book locked out. Producer Prince, artist varies, engineer Susan Rogers. The Prince quote: "I'm under the assumption that things you want in your life you should give away. If you want more money, you should give it away. If you want more love, give it away. If you want more music, do the same. I used to give a lot of songs away. I think that is why I'm so blessed with so much music throughout my career." End quote. Prince reached out to Karen Krattinger. Thank you so much. Karen Krattinger, an employee who helped coordinate many of his events, to schedule a birthday party for later in the week in Minneapolis. He asked that it have a Mardi Gras theme, and it was to celebrate his birthday as well as to draw attention to
Masquerade theme, right?
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I was just sitting there thinking, like, damn, he Mardi Gras all the way.
I was like Mardi Gras.
Thank you. As I was reading it, I was like, what the hell you knew about Mardi Gras? Thank you. Had a masquerade theme, and it was to celebrate his birthday as well as to draw attention to around the world today. Creating something like this with no notice was expected of his employees, and the ones who stayed were the ones who recognized that Prince didn't like being refused. In Prince's world, no was not an opinion. So everyone understood that they worked hard on every part of his career, and he worked hard as well and led by example. This is a quote. We generally do. Oh, this quote from Peggy Mac Leonard now. We generally delivered, and if you didn't, you were out. So you just made it happen the best way you could. He didn't want explanations. Just do it. So Nike got that from him. Just make it happen. We spoiled him. We never said no, and that's what you did. You facilitated his creative flow, end quote. Prince requested that Susan Rogers gather a collection of recently recorded and still unreleased songs that had been written for others. When he did this, it was either for copyright purposes or to assemble a variety of his tracks for a party tape. And with his birthday falling under later in the week, it was probably for the latter. The entire track list is unclear, but it likely included songs from Maserati, Susie, 100 Miles Per Hour, The Family, Nothing Compares to You, River Run Dry, and The Screams of Passion, and She Will Eat Holly Rock, Sister Fate among them. It is unlikely that Prince attended this short session because he was working on the video for the family's upcoming release, Screams of Passion.
You know what? I'm going to adopt that. Just make it happen. That's the thing for okay, 2025. Just make it happen. Prince. Yes. Okay, that's the quote. Put that on the shirt, Mike. Just make it happen. Prince.
Right.
Yes. All right. So for Monday, there's actually the Screams of Passion video shoot. And yeah, it's because it's the second one. Okay, I'll read this one. I'm jumping the gun. Sorry about this. Because I was like, Duane, because it's 2 Mondays. I don't like this 2 Monday thing. Wait,
go it. Monday.
Okay. Monday, June 3rd, 1985. This is a quote from Susanna Melvoin. Prince was there for part of the video, but he wasn't really there all the time. He wasn't the little guy dictator in the background saying, no, they can't do this, or this is how it should be. It wasn't like that. The family recorded their only music video for the Screams of Passion at Sir Studios, and that's in LA. By the time the band had gelled and they worked well together, remembered Susanna. We had been in rehearsals for such a long time, preparing to go on the road. We were rehearsing for a year, so doing the music video was just part of the rehearsal thing because we were in work mode. I saw it only as a job, but not a job where I said, oh, this is a pain in the A to do, and I wish I was home by 5 p.m. It was sort of a package deal in terms of how I felt about it. It was just part of the plan. We'd already done photo shoots for the album cover, explained Eric Leeds. And if you haven't, I'll do an insert here, and I think I included in the company playlist, but if not, I will. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch the keynote from the symposium earlier this year with the family, you should, because Susanna goes in a lot of detail about the album shoot in particular, which I was very grateful for, and it's pretty hilarious. All right. And then Eric Leeds continues, we were all ready to do the first video, which was another interesting thing. My debut as a bass player. As you know, he wasn't playing bass, but like pretending to be one in the video, which was an interesting choice because there's no horns in Screams of Passion. So there you go. And I think this is Eric speaking. After Prince kind of gave us an idea of what he was looking for, the concept of the video, which Jerome did the choreography for, I kind of had a question for Prince afterwards. I said, well, boss, exactly what the H do I do here? Because there's no horn in the song. Oh, this is Eric. And that kind of leaves me out in the cold, doesn't it? I don't even know at that point if he even thought about it yet, specifically because he kind of hesitated for a minute and looked and just kind of said, oh, well, you'll play bass guitar. And I said, oh, what? I mean, I was just like, okay, this is different. So I laughed and said, well, in for a dime, in for a dollar. So I rehearsed during the choreography with the 5 of us for about 2 or 3 days, having never in my life even held a bass guitar. Luckily, it was a song that the bass part was just a recurring rhythm. So Paul put my fingers in the right spot. So at least I was moving my fingers in the right fret. And I had a lot of friends of mine, when they saw that video and saw the bass, they said, what's up with the bass guitar? So anyway, that was part of the trip of being part of the Prince thing. Now, really, go ahead, Ricky.
No, I was saying, he said they took 2 or 3 days learning that choreography.
What you trying to say, Rick?
Man, I mean, it doesn't look that hard.
Well, you know, it depends on who got to learn it.
We on the 2 or the 4?
I mean, I know I'm not the only person that when they hear that song, and sometimes you go to doing some part of the choreography. So that's why I say, I mean, you know, it's not. I mean, it didn't look to be like, I mean, I guess that intricate, but you know, I mean, it could have been short sessions on those 2 or 3 days. So
yeah. And just really quickly, I see a question from Carlos Berry. There's definitely another book coming from Duane. And hopefully it will be 87, 88, if not 87, 88, 89. That's my wish. That's what he told me last time, but you know.
Carlos Berry. That name sounds so familiar.
Does it?
And my apologies if I forgot that we know each other. His name dropped out.
So
oh yeah, the zigzag maneuver, Kim. Yeah.
So combining these 2 days and whatnot, again, I'm not there. It's not my responsibility. It's not on me. But I get that working around the clock could be taxing, right? But also, for me, I'm also thinking about getting to do what you love, right? And again, also it's you're getting to do what you love, but you also, this is somebody else's thing, I guess, as well. So but it's just interesting to me to hear some of the folk talk about how grueling it was. And, for me, it was just always about, well, you're doing what you love to do. And, if you're always on call, doing what you love to do. So I just find it interesting how that was really taxing for a lot of people. And it just, I don't know. I never thought of it as taxing. I thought of it as, well, you're getting to do what you want to do. So, and I'll give you an example. I hate traveling. Like, I hate driving. I hate flying. I hate all of that. But early in my career, it didn't bother me because I was building a writing career. So if I had to go somewhere to do something, right, it was always, hey, I'm getting to do what I love to do. So as much as I hate traveling, it never impacted me. But this is kind of revelating to me that this was a point of emphasis, that this was really taxing the folk. I'll shut up.
Man, I will say this. I know for me, and I'm sure some of us probably have, we, to no fault of our own, we may have say romanticized certain things,
right?
Like the rehearsals and all that. I mean, I know for me personally, I know like I have. I mean, they can say whatever, and I'm still like, yeah, but it had to be
right.
It had to be great, you know what I'm saying, to do this, whatever. And so shout out to Duane for kind of giving us a grounded view. Right. And even after reading this, I still have a like romanticized view of it all. And so I probably will, because I know for me, just as a musician, it's kind of inspirational to hear like, oh, they rehearsed like this many hours a day, and they did these things. And so it's like a goal for me personally, just as a musician, to kind of shoot for and kind of say, okay, this man is what you got to put your put your time into. And you see the fruits of it when you got 30, 40 years later, new people are seeing this footage that we've seen for years, and they're like blown away, and we're like, well, just wait till you see something else. And so it's just a testament to that. And so that's it. I'm doing like Celia. Yeah, that's all.
yeah, just to triple on what you're saying, I think that's why this book is fantastic, because it can help illustrate what it takes to be on the level of what Prince was doing, good, bad, and the ugly. Like, there's always a sacrifice for whatever you're doing. And like you, Ricky, that romanticized look at hard work and working like a job, all of these sort of things, now as we are a little older and we're able to look back on things, well, what happens at the end of that type of lifestyle, right? So when you're able to sort of look back at it, you might be like, okay, well, I can understand, particularly coming from the generation before us, how work, you better go on and get that job. You be happy you got a job. That sort of sentiment set in with us. And I think, the Joe Jackson, we brought up Prince's dad, I think from their generation, they looked at it as, are you kidding?
Right.
the white folks will let you get in. You better get over it, So I can understand where that comes from. I guess we're learning. We've seen the other side. Well, not everybody's that way, but we've seen sort of what the other side of that could possibly look like. So you can kind of now be able to take these life experiences that Prince had, other people, and if you're trying to get into whatever you're trying to get into now, you can maybe have a little more things to look at where you can be like, I want to follow that part of it, but maybe this part of what they was doing, maybe I don't need to be doing it that way. He did it, so I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love stuff like this, because I used to think too, man, he's working all night. But now looking at it, I don't think you doing anything would be healthy. You just sort of not focused on other things in your life. Maybe that's not the way you would want to operate. But again, everyone can learn their own sort of lessons from this stuff.
And I just like to shout out Robert Loss, because a lot of his scholarship is around Prince's work ethic and about Prince representing the working class. So if you ever want to read more about Prince's work ethic or Prince representing the working class, and particularly when Prince is in his fight with Warner Brothers, Google a brother named Robert Loss. He's done a lot of writing around that. And I was thinking about that when Brother Dean said that Prince's generation, right, would be kind of been like between me and my father. Like Prince is born in 58, I'm born in 69. So Prince was like 11 years older than me. And so they come from a different understanding of what work ethic was. And they come from a different understanding of what excuses not to work was. And they were driven by parents who came from a different type of work ethic. And so as Prince is engaging, and I agree with TP, when TP put it in, it's also taxing when it's not your thing. So you got two things happening. You got it where people are saying this is more Prince's thing than my thing, but it also may be that they may not come from the same type of background of work ethic, having those kind of parents to where, this is the only opportunity you may have. And that what's on the other side of this work ethic is poverty. So yeah, so check out Robert Loss, Bob Loss if you get a chance. He has a lot of good stuff to say about those kind of things. I'll shut up. That's it.
So one of the things I wanted to say was, Ricky, go ahead.
Muted.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask CD, like, what's their brother's last name? Like, spell their brother's last name. Robert
Loss, Loss.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all I was gonna say.
All right. So I just know, as I've always been tired. I'm not kidding, Michael. Even as a teenager, I was tired. So like my friend who I talk about, my best friend who passed away, I talk about often. His name was Kevin Roberts. He had a band. I would sleep over, and it's one of those things. We were never like, he was my friend. Like his parents were in the house. They knew I was sleeping. He would be in the next room with a full band, bass, guitar, keys, loud as heck. I would be asleep. I could sleep through anything. I have to
hold on. Shout out to the people like me and you who could sleep through anything, and deaf to you like sleeping people. Let's move on. All right, go ahead. Finish with your story.
In fact, my mom said, like, if the house caught on fire, I would be dead because I wouldn't be able to hear any. Like, I can sleep through anything. I say all that to say, and it's really important to understand. I am not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I've always been tired, but I can work hard. But I know that if I was working for Prince, he would have fired me because I have to get sleep. Like, I can't even have complete sentences. So some people just have different body compositions. And like, for instance, my friend Kevin, for his entire life, and he died in his 50s, he only slept 4 hours a night. I could never sleep 4 hours a night consecutively for months on months and years on years. I would have been dead a long time ago. So some people require sleep, some people don't. Now, another thing you have to take in consideration, and I'm so grateful that my grandfather was a truck driver. And if you have a truck driving granddaddy, sleep is darn important. So when my granddaddy came home and he would sleep, we shut up so he could sleep. So I grew up in a household where sleep was important. So I'm just going to say that. All right. So let's go on to this find here, which is a little call sheet for the Screams of Passion video shoot. And what I find interesting about this is that Prince is listed as a director, and there's even a number for Prince. I don't know what that number is. It's obviously for, actually, if you look at it, it's the Cavallo, Ruffalo, and Fagnoli. It's the same number. So it really wasn't Prince's number. It was the management. Because I was like, why is there a number for Prince? Nobody was calling Prince because they were calling Cavallo, Ruffalo, and Fagnoli. And you can see that there are 3 different locations in addition to the Sur soundstage, was also the Santa Monica Beach at Pacific Avenue. And there was a call at 6 a.m. for that time. So for that location. And then also 1145 Hillcrest Road, Beverly Hills, call at 8. So you can see that the shoot date is listed as June 3rd, as well as June 4th. And you can see Limelight Film and Video Production. So I thought that was a great find to have.
Oh, Prince directed that video?
Well, this is the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because like Susanna says that Prince wasn't on the set. Like he popped in, but he wasn't there all the time. So I wonder but then if you look down, Michael Dean, all the way at the bottom, it says Assistant Director Bob.
Bob. Ain't that a
So is this like
spell it backwards, say the same thing?
There you go.
Like is Bob like Bob Cavallo? I don't know who Bob is. So
Bob.
Man, you know who Bob is, D'Angelo. Come on now. You know who Bob is.
That's who that Bob is.
You know who Bob is.
Just be happy George wasn't there.
It's funny, yeah. He doesn't even have a last name.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Bob. So I don't know.
Can you highlight EA's comment?
EA, yes.
Thank you, EA, for finding this. Yes, I forgot. I forget, but so this is a shameless plug. So yeah, Bob Loss's article, Prince and the Black American Workplace. This is just one article. He's done a lot of them. But that Black Magnolias, that is the name of the magazine that has that article. Black Magnolias is a literary magazine that I edited and published for 8 years, and we did a special issue. And Prof. Duff also has a article in that special issue. Could you tell them the title of your article in that special issue? Do you remember it?
Yeah. Basically, I'm actually pulling it up.
Okay. So EA, yes. So if you, yes. So that there we go. All right.
So yes, it's not. I wish the cover was in the PDF. I don't know why the cover is not in a PDF. But anyway, it is. She's Always in My Hair, Jill Jones, an Unheralded Muse of Prince. And then where's Robert? I can't see. Oh, How the Exodus Began, Prince and the Black Working Class Imagination.
And you can get that for free. Actually, we got it to where if you search that journal, it's a PDF. You can get the PDF for free. And like I said, you can find the Bob Loss article, and you can find the Prof. Duff article. There it is. There you go. Polysolid. You're polysolid. There you go. Just put it in there, and so you can get that PDF. And like I said, that Bob Loss, and he's done a lot of those things. I wasn't even thinking about that special issue, so I'm glad that EA mentioned that. But you can download that PDF. You can download that special issue for free because I left it up there for free.
Wow, with Africa, that's very interesting.
And my wife designed that cover.
Okay, so
yeah, my wife and I, Brother Dean, we had a very great agreement on that. I handled everything on the inside, so I handled all of the poetry and short stories and essays, and she didn't say anything about that, and I didn't say anything to her about the covers. So she got to do all of the. She did most of the covers, and I would do all the inside stuff. So yeah, so shout out to my wife for designing that cover.
Yeah, man, you're a lucky man.
Well, teamwork make the dream work. That's what I'm talking about. All right.
That's right. All right. So who wants to read about the Raspberry Beret video shoot? Let's do Michael. I don't think you've read yet.
No. That's Tuesday?
Tuesday, June 4th.
All right. All right. Tuesday, June 4th, 1985. Thursday, June 6th, 1985. Do the quote.
Yes.
From Bobby Z. I'm always partial to the video for Raspberry Beret because it's kind of a step away from who we are. There's a cartoon about us in there. It's just really clever. It's fun. And the finished product, I think, was really playful and pretty cool. Bobby Z. Prince had scheduled several days to record videos for future releases. Now that Raspberry Beret was a single, a video was designed and a director was hired. For Raspberry Beret, we filmed a whole video. Then Prince got a Japanese animator to do a completely different video, and we mashed the two up. Recalled producer Simon Field. He would mess with directors. He would give them the impression that they'd be in charge of the video. Then halfway, he'd go, "Thank you." That's what he liked, and edit it himself. The whole concept of that video was to bring the album cover to life, explained Wendy.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's read the whole thing.
So if you look at the album cover and the animated drawings of it, you'll be able to pick out everybody represented in the video as well. I have a couple of strong memories of that. One is I was very upset that I had to play that acoustic guitar in it because it was huge. And I'm fairly aesthetic. I'm a fairly aesthetic person. And I like my guitars to kind of match the size of me. So this thing was more like playing a Garaton.
Yeah, I know that one. I can't help you on.
like a macaroni. Hey, macaroni.
Mariachi.
Mariachi band. And Prince, he loved that it was so huge. I love that you're so little and that you're taking control of something so big. Oh, I didn't like the guitar. The other memory I have is that Pat Smear from Nirvana. Was one of the extras in it. Someone please explain to me what that means.
Pat Smear is the name of a person, and Nirvana is the band.
Yeah. So yes. So the guy was one of the people sitting around or in the audience while they were performing in the video.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm tripping because I'm like, Nirvana from Seattle? Like my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the girl who gives at the front, she was like an actress who was like became pretty famous too.
Cheers.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's I only remember the Asian dancer. Wasn't she in like some of the videos, y'all?
Soul Train.
Okay, that's what I was.
Soul Train girl. Yep.
And you know what's so funny, real quick? When I saw her in the video, for some reason it sort of broke. Like I just assumed Prince does not associate with normal human beings that you would recognize anywhere else. So to see somebody else recognize, I was like, yo,
and this whole girl.
Yeah. That's when Pat had dreadlocks all the way down to his butt, related Dave Gore. How do you say his last name? Dave Gore?
Hold on one second. Since you paused. So Anil's here. Hi, Anil. Happy Prince Day. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
So Pat Smear joined as a backup guitarist post Nevermind and was a legend in the scene even before that. And then Lee Christian is saying Pat Smear is originally in the Germs, a punk band from LA, not Seattle.
Okay, now context. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Related Dave Gore. Am I saying his name right? Ashamed if I'm not.
Grohl. Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. Seattle homie. Smear's band member from Nirvana and Foo Fighters. He loves Prince. So he put together a white ensemble and goes down to the auditions at a rehearsal space in Los Angeles. He gets there and everyone has to do a synchronized dance. Pat can't dance. So he got cut. They send him home. He starts walking down the hallway and hears, "Hey, you." He turns around and there's a big bodyguard standing next to Prince. And Prince whispers in the bodyguard's ear. The bodyguard says, "You can stay. He likes your hair." They wanted his hair in the video. Wendy continues, Novi and Susan Katamayama.
Sorry. Excuse me, Michael. Katayama.
what she said, and Lee's brother, David, are playing the
Speechless.
string instruments. It was the first video we did where there were extras around too. So that was weird. It was the first scripted video we had done and not a performance video. Interesting. So it was interesting. It took much longer than we thought it would take. I could tell Prince was slightly annoyed by how long it took. He was not a very patient guy. I would love to see that. Before Raspberry Beret, Prince had Lisa and Wendy join him in the studio for an intimate performance of For the Tears in Your Eyes. We did the video at SIR on Sunset in one day, and it was done live. Remembered Susan Rogers. Quote, no quote.
Go ahead and read the quote.
He didn't want to use playback. He didn't want to use the album version of it. He wanted to use the live video version, which is ultimately so beautiful. He needed to get really psyched up to do that. I think with proper emotion. That day, there were a few crew members which he hated to have around, but he had to because it was a video production and these people were necessary. And he went off in a dark corner by himself to just sort of meditate on it before going back and singing it. And I think the version they did is beautiful. It's stuff like that that just is fascinating to me. You just got to go get into, okay, I'm ready, let's go. The final version of the video featured Prince, Lisa, and Wendy playing the song. And for this shoot, Prince was the one playing the huge 12-string acoustic guitar. There was no distancing special, there was no distracting special effects, which allowed their deep friendship and affection to come through. It still remains one of the most private and personal videos that he ever released. It is possible that a Sheila E. video was also done this week, but this has not been confirmed. Yeah, nice.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. These three videos, the family video, like Raspberry Beret, and then For the Tears in Your Eyes, it's like how do you guys rank those? Well, in the Prince canon, like the family's video, how do you rank that with, compared to the other protege videos? And then as far as Prince videos, like how, where does like Raspberry Beret and For the Tears in Your Eyes rank?
So I'm going to start here because I got a jet in about 18 minutes to go to my grandbaby's birthday party.
Happy birthday, Olivia!
Thank you.
Happy birthday to her.
Raspberry Beret was a major shift. I remember people jumping up and down in front of the TV saying, Prince made a real video. Prince made a real video. Because until that point,
I was not jumping up and down.
So now?
I was not jumping up.
Right. I wasn't upset about it, but I like that all Prince's videos before then had been performance videos because that's what I wanted. You remember, I just said I came out of that BB King thing. So for me, Prince was my BB King. So the fact that all of Prince's videos were performance videos, I love that. So yeah, there were folks like Prof Dove who wasn't really feeling the concept video. And then there were another group of folk who were like, wow, he made a real video. So I say this to your question, Rick, that I will say that what's important about the Raspberry Beret video is that it's a line in the sand of, you can do the before Purple Rain video, before Raspberry Beret videos, after Raspberry videos. And I guess you would say When Doves Cry. So yeah, so I guess When Doves Cry would count. So thank you, Zakiya. I didn't think about When Doves Cry. But I think that because so many people saw When Doves Cry as kind of connected to the movie and most of the scenes. Now, don't get me wrong. That damn dance scene at the end is fire. Like that to me, and I'm about to say something that's blasphemous. I'm going to put it out there. I'm about to say something that's blasphemous. For me, that damn dance scene at the end of When Doves Cry moves me more than anything Michael Jackson ever did. In fact, I would put that first. I would put that back crawl from the Sign of the Times concert video as second. I would put him spinning through the legs and doing the split with the microphone third. And then Michael Jackson is going to be somewhere distant fourth. That's how I feel about it. So, but yeah, so Zakiya, yeah. But I think that for that Doves Cry video. I think it's called a concept video. So I would yield and say that's a concept video. But I would say that I think that the Raspberry Beret video, when people are really thinking about, wow, this is a concept video, and prior to that, all of them were performance videos. So I wasn't bothered by it, but I know a lot of people that it shocked them. I'll shut up.
Okay.
You know, they're getting at you.
I know it. I don't care. Y'all know I'm here for all the smoke. Matter of fact, I get them do the damn dance. Don't let me get to spinning my arm up, damn it.
All right, so let's make a correction. Devin P is saying the Asian dancer in Raspberry Beret was not Cheryl's song from Soul Train. It definitely wasn't Cheryl's song from Soul Train.
Oh, okay.
But I thought it was maybe another person from Soul Train, but it wasn't like the she had like really long hair that almost go down to her ankles.
She was on some other stuff. What was she in other videos? She's recognizable, at least she was to me.
Right. All I know is she was channeling the girl. She was channeling the girl from Soul Train. That's all I can say.
Oh, okay. Lee Christian saying Celie would be rating the wooden leg above the moonwalk soon. I'm gonna go in with you. I would rate the wooden leg above the moonwalk. That's how much it means to me. But it's because I didn't live in Michael's world. I lived in Prince's world. That's the world I lived in. So there you go. Okay. So I will say to your question, Ricky, I have lots to say about this. I'm with Celie in that I always loved what I call the performance videos from Prince, the concert footage, those I lived for. And something about Raspberry Beret, one, it was the hair. Because, like, first of all, it's not Christopher Tracy hair. I loved Christopher Tracy hair. But the Raspberry Beret video is not Christopher Tracy hair.
That's Liza Minnelli hair. That's Liza Minnelli hair.
That's the pre-Halle Berry cut.
Yes.
Very early concept.
Yeah.
Number two, even though the cloud suit is super iconic, it was weird that it was still reckoning back, to Purple Rain with the Purple Rain silhouette. And I was used to Prince drastically changing his image from the head down to the toe, right? So we got the hair, but we didn't get the outfit. That was one thing. So I also, here we go. Also didn't like the song, Raspberry Beret. That was number three. I didn't realize it was two different videos matched together, but now that I know, reading Duane's book, I was like, what is going on? I mean, as a little person, I was like, you got this animation, you got the real footage. I was confused as a little person.
For some reason in my mind, I think I always was thinking of Take On Me video when I would see
yes.
Yeah.
Michael Dean. And I hated that video with a passion.
Wow.
One, because they played it on MTV every other second.
They sure did.
They had the playlist.
Yeah, I didn't even like that song. And so I was just like, I did not like the Raspberry Beret. The only thing I liked about the Raspberry Beret video was the cough. I was like, that's amazing. And then when we get the 12-inch, yes, I love the 12-inch of Raspberry Beret, but the version that's on the album, don't like. The same with Little Red Corvette. One on the album, don't like. The special dance mix, love. Especially at the end of the dance mix of Little Red Corvette. Everybody should know. Okay, yes. Arms of Orion.
There you go. Arms around like, hey, just keep me out of it. Just keep me out of it.
Yes. Okay. Now going to the other. Go ahead, Rick.
Oh, no. Okay, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now going to the Screens of Passion video. I am what's called a quality snob. And what I mean by that, audio quality snob, video quality snob. Even though I didn't have the language back then and didn't know how that video was created with the blue screen, green screen, I was like, something's off. Like, this isn't, like, it doesn't look right. Just because that's who I am. Unfortunately, I've always been like that. God is in the details. That's like one of my mantras, but they looked amazing. Obviously, I love the garb. The song was amazing. And that's actually one of the issues I had with concept videos was sometimes the concept for the video didn't match the song at all. Now, the one thing I loved about the Screams of Passion video is when Susanna's in the bed reading the Life magazine, it kind of really fit with the whole pajama, theme and all of that. And also, like Eric, like I was like, Eric's not a bass player. Like, why is he playing the bass? Like, it just like a lot of disconnects for me. Now, of the 3 videos, Ricky, that because you asked, like Raspberry Screams and For the Tears in Your Eyes. For the Tears in Your Eyes was the video that I liked the most out of those 3, because one, it was Prince, B, Prince on these Prince. So it was Prince, and then we got Wendy. But it was nice to see it in black and white, and also to see like the Christopher Tracy look. I thought he looked cool as heck. And so it was really nice seeing a black and white video, because that's something that we hadn't seen before. And also we hadn't really seen him playing an acoustic guitar.
Right.
So anytime I saw Prince play a new instrument, for instance, like again, that America video, people don't understand how important that video was just to see Prince play the drums in real time. I mean, obviously you got drums and the Prince video, like Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad, or I Want to Be Your Lover, whichever one it was. Yeah, but he was just, he wasn't really playing. Like, he could have like just mime to it. But like to actually see him play that in America was great. So actually hearing him play the acoustic guitar in that video was like amazing. And I'll stop because I could go on. But it is Prince Day, and I can go on for as long as I want because today is Prince Day. So go ahead, Ricky.
No, Mike.
Quickly, Raspberry Beret video. I like it. Probably love it. It's more of a nostalgia thing. Just because when it came out, it was just such a abrupt, like, what happened? In a good way. Like it was just like, this is not the same thing I was just into. It looks totally different. So I was fascinated by it. I was trying to understand, wow, what happened? So yeah, fascinating. Screams of Passion. It's not that I wasn't a fan of the video. I didn't watch it a lot back then. So I remember seeing it a few times back then. And I don't think at the time I was really associating Prince with it super strongly. I just thought maybe this was a group that he was working with, but I had no idea like he was writing songs and all that type of stuff. So I just thought it was interesting. When it came out, I just wanted to get more Prince though, so I didn't pay it a lot of attention. And I think I bought the album maybe a couple months later from when it came out. Tears in Your Eyes. That's not a video I really saw back in the day very much. And again, when I saw it, that was in the period of where I'm like, Hello Prince, Purple Rain, Syracuse Prince, I'm on Jam Prince. So to see it sort of slow down like that, I wasn't really mature, or I wasn't ready to see him playing in that type of capacity. I was like, what is this? Like, why is he not jamming? Why he's, so I didn't really, I wasn't feeling that video. I think it is a fabulous song now. And I think, no, that video is interesting to me now. Reading this stuff and looking at it now, I really want to go back and look at it. I wish they would. I wish there was like a super crispy version of that, because it does sound like, man, it's pretty fascinating recording of that song based off of what she just said. But I just wasn't. I didn't watch that video a lot back then. I think when I got one of those, when you did trading with other fans and you traded VHS tapes, that's when I finally really got to sit there and watch it. And I was like, oh, this was Christopher Tracy before I knew what Christopher Tracy was, so yeah.
And so I'll just say quickly, I watched the For the Tears in Your Eyes video in real time doing Live Aid. And, I've learned some things about Dick Clark, particularly his interactions with Don Cornelius, that made me a little less of a Dick Clark fan. But putting that to the side, I was always, and I don't know if the word was impressed. I was always, and I guess I'll say impressed for lack of a better word. I was always impressed with the way Dick Clark introduced that video, because Dick Clark seemed to be doing his best to say, hey, this dude looks really different and he sounds really different, but you should dig it. Like, so if you can find, if anybody can find the original Dick Clark introducing, because you know, you also, it's about the moment. So this Live Aid is this really big moment, and so everybody's kind of down for the cause. But it's just the way Dick Clark introduced that video. I always thought that was really cool that he was doing. And then, you know, that's what Dick Clark did, right? He broke the new music. He broke the new thing. And so Dick Clark was in his bag on, I'm going to do whatever I can, because I know the video and the sound is going to be shocking for a lot of people. So I have to give Dick Clark some props about how he introduced that video. And that's a master lesson in how do you introduce something that may be new and difficult to digest for people. And I think Dick Clark was spot on doing that. I'll shut up.
Yes. I know me personally, I the Sister Fate in there, like for the 4.
Oh yes, can't forget it. I love the Sister Fate video.
You know, I think at that time, like summer '85, I was so, wanting to see what this next movement of Prince was going to be. I think, so not just for him, but with his new groups and, new people that he was kind of bringing out with the family, with Sheila's second outing, I was kind of taking it all in. I think I'm with the consensus of most people. I prefer the like performance videos. I think, like you said, Celie, I never thought about it at the time, but you're right. It was kind of, Mike said it. It was kind of like he was kind of slowing things down, but then he kind of redeemed himself. I guess now with the America video, which was like, it's like, oh, now this is what we've been waiting for. You know what I'm saying? Like this one should have been first. But like I just remember being very open to seeing like what the new thing was going to be, like what the family was going to be, what, like what this new look was going to be and everything. So, in say the Prince canon of videos, they don't rank very high for me. That's just because I like the performance videos better. But I just remember, I do remember being very excited about them, because I remember with the Raspberry Beret video, it was on the MTV every hour. Okay, on the hour, and then I know for 24 hours I must have watched it like 23 of the 24 hours. Just turning back and watching to it. You know what I'm saying? Telling everybody, look, it's coming on, type deal. So
I think too, you got to remember back then, these videos, they were super important. Like it ain't like today when some video come out, watch it, and you don't know this is all you kind of got. So these were very important. If you can just kind of think your mind, like when a video would come on, you'd be like total attention, and maybe if you had some money in your house, you could record it, and watch it over and over. But yeah, these videos were super important at the time, unlike today where it's just sort of a disposable thing. But
so I wanted to, I missed this quote, and my apologies, Cassandra. So Cassandra, who's at Celebration right now, said Bobby Z explained that the cough was his and Prince used it and kept it in the song. He said this yesterday, which is mind blowing because I did not know this. So thank you so much, Cassandra, for sharing that bit of news.
Is this like new information that just came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always thought it was Prince coughing.
Yeah, I always thought it was Prince coughing as well. So that's definitely new. Thank you, Cassandra.
Yes, Nick Felton, as Brother Rick said, that MTV world premiered Raspberry Beret, and it came on every hour for 24 hours. And like Brother Rick said, I was one of the people struggling not to go to sleep at 3, 4 in the morning because I wanted to see it one more time. So yeah, they played it 24 times in a 24-hour cycle. So there you go.
Yeah. And the other thing, I really want to go back to the Sister Fate video because I actually rewatched it for the Pop Life 40 symposium and I hadn't seen it in a while. And I forgot how much I love that video. And I don't know if you remember, there's like a ghostly image from the Raspberry Beret video in the Sister Fate video, just for like a hot second.
Yep.
And I loved like the editing on that video. Like it's so she was like going around with her magic wand, like anointing couples and things of that nature because she's Sister Fate. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll actually add it to the playlist. I have the family Screams of Passion as well as Raspberry Beret, but I didn't put Sister Fate in there. So don't sleep on Sister Fate because it's a really great video. Thanks, Ricky, for bringing that up. All right, now I have some images. This is actually the clapboard from the Raspberry Beret shoot. So you can see 6/5, June 5th, 1985, Prince of the Revolution. And let's see. All of these photos are from Jeff Katz, who was shooting the video shoot, like when back in the day when people shot videos or even movies, they usually had a still photographer on set taking still images that they could use promotionally. So this is for anybody who may not have seen the Raspberry Beret video. This is what we're talking about because we do have newbies. And this is Lisa with like the balloons like from I really love the one thing I do like about this video is that it feels like the cover from Around the World in a Day. So go ahead.
And I will say, I must admit, 15 years old, I did think it was cool when Lisa blew her hair. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I didn't think that was cool. I was like, oh, that's kind of hot. That's cool. Go ahead, Lisa. I see it. Go ahead, Lisa. I see it.
I didn't take it. I thought it was cool. I didn't think it was hot, but I thought it was
cool. It was both. Like I said, but it was cool. Like I like those little touches and stuff like that. I was like, that's cool. All right, I'll shut up.
Yeah, and I loved Lisa. I mean, I still love Lisa. I loved Lisa, so it was great. And then this is also Wendy looks like the character on the album cover. Mm-hmm. But it just like it didn't seem to be Wendy. Like even in real time, it didn't feel like Wendy. Go ahead.
And first time I saw the video, I was surprised. What's up, brother Neil? I was surprised.
Hello, y'all.
That Wendy was scantily clad.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was not a Wendy we were used to seeing, a scantily clad Wendy. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's different. It wasn't bad or anything. We just had never seen, even though she has on like the short shorts or the short whatever doing the Purple Rain movie, but she was not seen as a scantily clad kind of person. All right, I'll sit up.
She reminded me of Slave Leia. That's the only thing back then.
Yeah, Mike.
I don't know the reference, Mike. Break it down for me.
Princess Leia, Return to the Jedi.
When Jabba had her, strapped down.
He said Slave Leia.
That's what
all right. We want to officially welcome the one and only Anil Das for joining us on Prince Day. I'm so grateful that you joined us today, Anil.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm such a fan. I get to watch you all the time, so I was just like, it's great to be here. I love that you do this. I'm just like excited to even to get to watch is exciting. Just to be here is even better.
Oh, thank you so much. So since you're here,
wait a minute.
Oh, go ahead.
So, and I hate this because I never get to hang out with Brother Anil like y'all do. But I got to go to my granddaughter's birthday. Her birthday was yesterday. She turned 4 yesterday, and so we're gonna go have a cowgirl birthday for my grandbaby. Thank you, Prof. Dust, for all that you do. Brother Dean, thank you again for that wonderful Pepe Willie interview, for everything that you do. The Rickster, I love you, bro. Brother Neil, thanks for everything you do. Everybody in the chat, let me go. My granddaughter's banging on the door in the back. I'll see y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, man. Look. Okay, enjoy the birthday party.
Happy birthday.
All right. So Neil, as you know, we were talking about the videos from 1985, and in particular, we were talking about Screams of Passion, For the Tears in Your Eyes, Raspberry Beret, and then we also threw in Sister Fate. So what are your thoughts on these videos, and how would you rank them?
Oh, I mean, there's sort of a couple different ways to rank them. Raspberry Beret, though, I think is one of those that is like one of the great Prince videos, just because you think of the cultural impact, right? That's the one that, like, you take the most casual fan, it's one of those images they can think of. It is I think it's one of the ones that cultivated the Prince mystery, right? Like the cough and the imagery. And I think the point that Michael was making, sort of as I was joining in, you also had to get hints, right? Like if you wanted to know what was up with Prince, you had to be like, not just reading the liner notes, not just looking at the cover art, but the videos. You're looking in the background. You're looking at, what's the thing he's tipping us off to, and this was one of those, right? Like, because there literally were articles in magazines about what does the cough mean, and what is he trying to say, and what is the symbolism. And the other thing I remember is there a through line between what is being illustrated in the animation in this and what was in the When Doves Cry video, right? Like, is that the same barn?
Right.
And people are like building a cinematic universe out of, I'm not kidding, like 10 seconds in this video. And and I think there are some things now where like maybe a Taylor Swift audience now is looking at that level of finding some details but there's like one artist left that people will do that, and they have to have the biggest fan base to do that, and also they have the internet to organize themselves and do that. So like that's what it takes, is like the most extreme fan base with the most tools will do that now. But to do that then when there is no internet and there's no way to get people together, like that's just like, I think that's the impact of that. And the other, I mean, the family, the Screams of Passion video is like, to me, it's just like the Fits. I'm just like, look at what they're wearing. Like, I mean, as a kid, I'm just like, man, they're wearing curtains and shit. Like, what is all that? You know what I mean? Like, what? I've never seen that kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I've never seen that. Like, I was like, what are these fabrics? What? Because this is all before Cherry Moon or whatever, you know. And like, and I mean, I grew up with like Indian folks like aren't shy about fabrics. Like, I was like, this is textures and patterns and stuff. I was like, they're really showing up. It was beautiful. So like that was the other one that jumped out to me even as a kid, because one of the points that was being made, it's so the scarcity of it. Like, you don't get to see these things all the time. And for me, like, we didn't have cable growing up, so it was like Screams of Passion was like one glimpse on, back then we had Friday night videos, right? So you would have
night tracks or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So you'd be like, blink it, it's gone. And you'd be like, did I see what I thought I saw? And there's no run that back. There's no rewind that. There's no click the play button again. It's just like, I'm trying to capture all this in my mind. And that was it. So that's the other one that I remember jumped out to me, was I was just like, what are they wearing? What is this? How can this be Prince? Because Prince is roughly shirt still in my head, and Prince is still like, I still had Purple Rain on the brain as a kid, and all of a sudden it's a whole new look. It's a whole new, and also, like, frankly, it looked like much more white. Like, all of a sudden, like the family was a whole different look, and so it was just a real switch up all of a sudden.
Yeah, you said something. I'll make it really quick. But I think when you're saying your attention of you having to watch the videos because there was no playback, I think that is another thing that sort of makes music different, a way we perceived it, because you had to be totally paying attention to those shows because you wanted to catch it again. So you had to watch the whole thing. You're not looking at other stuff you're watching all of it, which in turn makes you pay attention to all those other songs that were playing, and where I don't even. At that time, I was purely, early rap and Prince, Michael, but I know all the other songs from all the other genres.
Yeah,
to this day, because I watched those shows.
I know all that Phil Collins because I'm sitting there listening through it, because I'm like, is he next? Is he next? Yeah. Is that the song they're going to play? I know, whatever it was. I know Gloria Estefan because I'm sitting through that, because so I'm like, all right, or whatever, like Journey. I'm like, how do I know all the words to this Journey song? because that's what I'm sitting through. I'm sitting through Casey Kasem telling me about some shit I don't care about because I'm trying to get to Prince.
Yeah, but Friday night videos and night tracks on TBS was like you had to, and it was Friday and Saturday nights. So like if you saw it Friday, you were hoping, please let it be played on Saturday again, or let them play the video again or something. Definitely.
That's real.
That's why in 2025 I can be driving down the street today, top open, Panama. Digging.
I think that's also real for how folks got sampled in the 90s and whatever, was people knew those songs because they were around, like that was the stuff that was wrapping around Prince and Michael and whoever it was. You couldn't avoid it. Like I said, was listen to the countdowns or listen to the video shows, whatever it was.
Yeah, because Phil Collins was big in '85, but that was his breakout year.
Yeah, man, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
So here's some more videos from the shoot. It's so weird nowadays seeing pictures of Dr. Fink when he's younger, because I've had so much interaction with him, with who he is right now, that it goes like, is this the same person? But obviously it is.
He's a rock star.
Yes. Yes. And hold on one second. And then look at Brown Mark.
Shout out to the bass player.
Yes.
The colors. That's the one thing when I see these pictures versus the video, I'm like, my God, it was
so vibrant,
colorful there. Yeah, I would love to see a 4K version of that video.
Yeah, I was saying this in the chat, like, you know, I hope they have like all the footage and all that, because they, like, these days they could just put it all back together, like they could composite it together. Like these days you can do blue screen or green screen, whatever, in such a good way. Like they could like rescan it all and have it look like this, like the video could look like this, and you know,
color graded, right?
Yeah, and like you don't have to do any AI stuff, you don't have to do anything crazy with it, but you could do, like, you could just make it look this good, and that's the kind of stuff, like that's the remastering that, you know, I wish they do instead of messing with whatever else. Well, I mean, like estate stuff aside, like in terms of like how could you like make something that we all want to see, because a lot of the stuff still goes out so fuzzy or whatever. But then, because I think, you know, Tangela, you were talking about this, like the thing I always felt even back in the day is I was like, how come they're putting this together with the blue screen like this? Like, why is the animation overlaid like this? Like it always felt messy. And I felt that way about the Alphabet Street video too. And I was like, there's a way to do this. This ain't the way to do this, you know, and you know, as a kid, you don't have the vocabulary for it. Right. Like just as a kid, you don't have the vocabulary for it, but like they're not supposed to be standing in front of the cartoon, right? Like it's not that. And so now like they could do it in the way that you would expect, and like it could be an alternate take, right? And that would be just amazing to see.
But all state moment. We haven't had one.
There you go, Ricky. There you go. Hold on one second. Let me one second. There you go.
Dear State, I know we come to you on Prince Day celebrating, as many are all across the world. And we hope that you would listen to Brother Said Neil Dash. You know what I'm saying? Give us some remastered videos. That would be great. The State, you know, as you are remastering some music, give us some remastered videos. Like we love to see like an uncut version of that America video. Maybe like the whole show.
Yes, the whole show.
Maybe like the whole show. You know, you could do, you know, I mean, give us a clear version of that wonderful, colorful Raspberry Beret video. You know what I'm saying? Give us a clear version of that, for the tears in your eyes. You know, just, hey, just run wild with it, Estate. You know what I'm saying?
4K Kiss video.
4K Kiss video. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, all those type things. And if you're wondering if people are going to buy Dear State, trust me, the Prince community, we will get behind it. We will buy it. We will support it. We will flood the internet and all social medias with the genius that we all know as Prince Rogers Nelson. That's the Dear State moment for the day.
Thank you.
You know, Blade Brown mentioned a comment. He said all those wonderful Jeff Katz photos, and they couldn't come up with one of those for that for that Rolling Stones interview cover. They came with they came with the video.
It was like if somebody had a sidekick phone that was from the took a screenshot.
The potato quality picture, and also they took a picture of the TV. Where they
like took a
this is a national magazine. You took a picture of your TV.
Yeah, it's almost like they were like it's almost like they didn't. Because they didn't think that he was going to do the interview, and it came through, and it was like, yo, let's put it to press. We won't have a picture. Here, just take a picture of the video.
Yeah, but jokes aside, seriously, what kind of artists? What artists they do that to?
None.
What other artists they ever do that to? Ever?
Well,
none.
There's no Beatles.
But can you remember? Were there any pictures of him in that article?
Yeah, from the video. It was another one from the video.
Yeah.
But they do. But I thought because this is the one where they're driving around, they're showing the neighborhood. I felt like they had a picture of the neighborhood. It wasn't a picture of Prince, but I felt like they had a picture of the neighborhood.
No, they didn't. It was like when you opened it up on the first page, it's like is like a Raspberry Beret shot. It's just of his like
Mhm.
maybe torso up, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. And you know, I get if he didn't want to do a photo, but I'm pretty sure, man, somebody maybe in management or something could have been like, hey, look, we got videos. Because I mean, you know, in say defense of the Jeff Katz photos, those really didn't come out until like years later. You know,
Yeah, they didn't know
you
this.
we didn't see those. Yeah, like we
But
didn't see
I'm
those.
assuming Prince's management knew he took those
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
wonder
I mean,
why
even
they
if they stonewalled, even if he said nothing's coming out of Warner's, nothing's coming out of Paisley, we're not giving you anything, you can take a picture of the record. You can take like there's 100 ways you can go. You can do original art. I mean, they had illustrators, best illustrators in the world, right? Doing when they would do the table of contents, right? Doing the caricatures back in the day.
I hated the ones they would do at Prince though, because they were always.
I hate them too, but that would have been art.
Yeah.
Right. That would have been something showing respect to an artist. Right. That would have been, I think we did this for this artist because this is a world-class caliber cover artist on this magazine. Like that's the thing I look at is like just respect to this artist. Like, yeah, like who do you do this to? They would never take a picture of the
Live Aid thing, right? This is after We Are the World night.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, I'm remembering they was, you know, Prince is kind of blackballed, I guess, from the industry's perspective, probably. So they're probably like, oh, yeah, you want to play game? I can see why they did something like that.
He was on the outs. That's probably the lowest point of public perception about him that he'd had in his career.
And this is him answering the controversy from Big Chick that started painting Prince's.
Yeah.
I can kind of see.
Yeah, Chick's book had just come out, and you had the all the stuff in the Hello song. You had the We Are the World. You had all that stuff back to back to back to back. And there's no. And I mean, the reason he did the Raspberry Beret video is because people are like, there's no single and no video for the song. I mean, that's the other thing about the Raspberry thing is like, it didn't come out ahead of the record, right?
Right.
But it's like the record speaks for itself. There's no single, there's no video. And people are, what the hell is this? How do you mean? Like, who are you? Who do you think you are? Not doing that. Like, that was the initial reaction.
Stay in your place, boy.
Yes, I wonder if he was upset about that cover because someone asked that in the chat if he, you know, because I'm trying to think even after, well, he must have felt some kind of way because the next cover was with him and Wendy and Lisa, and that was and he was in full Christopher Tracy mode then. He was showing the thing, so.
And they all look fly as hell in that one. That was like that's one of my favorite pictures ever. Three of them.
It is dope. I wonder too. Maybe I don't know when his hair situation happened. When he.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that plays into it too. He might have just been petty enough.
Yeah. I mean, I bet that's a factor because you do look. You know, the cover art, the person that's supposed to represent him has blonde hair, right? So he clearly is like not. I could see it realistically, like him being like, I'm not confident in putting myself out there. Like, because I don't know. Has anybody ever said if that's a wig in the video?
Good question.
I feel like I read that somewhere. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Because what I've heard, and again, like I don't have the best memory, so I might be making this up, but I feel like I read somewhere a very long time ago that because of the blonde hair, he had on a wig because the blonde wig.
I feel like I remember hearing that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
looks like it could be.
Yeah, it really did. And then
Prince cover that was tight.
Oh yeah, that was by far the best. It really was. I mean, to think about it, you know what I find very interesting about the Rolling Stone covers is that the first cover was Prince and Vanity, not Prince and Vanity. And then also they wanted to do the interview with Prince with the Wendy and Lisa one, but Prince was like, no, let's feature Wendy and Lisa. So you got to give a lot of respect to Prince for, making sure that females at the time, because it was a very male dominated culture in the music industry. And for Prince to, showcase women at that level on the cover of Rolling Stone was a huge deal.
Yeah, they weren't putting women on the cover.
Yeah, they weren't putting
for any reason. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to think about that when we think about Prince.
Wow. That's interesting. I mean, you're right. They weren't putting women on the cover.
I mean, Jan Wenner, he's been straight up about it, right? He's like, I'm not. I think all this stuff has been leaked out there about just not putting black artists on the cover, not putting them on the cover. I mean, that's
Times
like that's all. Yeah, none of that's like it's not like it's not vague.
That's right.
I didn't think about that at the time. I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So all their moves were suspect.
Yes. All right. And so in addition to Brown Mark, first of all, before we move from Brown Mark, no one said anything about this beautiful bass.
I know the Olympic flower bass.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Did we see that before then? Is that the first we see that?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, he had it on the Purple Rain tour, but that's the first
on screen.
You get good, and he doesn't know where it is. I think Prince got it, bought it, kept it. Well, I think it was Prince's bass, and then he painted over it.
Man,
I think he painted it black.
Come on, man.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Brown Mark's fit, like that was gonna be his look. No shirt with a white cape.
I mean,
Goldie.
You don't even got to drop a hat for Mark to take his shirt off, though. Come on.
Yeah.
Blowout, and then shit was blue. I'm like, was Vaughn and them doing this stuff? Does this look?
Yeah, this is still because so Von Terry, like during Triple Threat 40, he had a whole section about the cloud suit. So this is very much a part of the Raspberry Beret video. So it's very much there. And for those who haven't checked out that interview, I highly recommend that you do so.
They knew how to switch it up.
That would be
so different from 6 months before.
Oh yeah.
I know. Have you guys seen those little miniature guitars that they sell at Prince's things? It would be cool if they could redo if they did that bass.
That would be
Yeah. So they have them like all the, like the Mad Cat, the cloud, the symbol.
Somebody just
they got the eye bass. It would be cool if they did that. Yep.
I love them actually. I have.
You got your little Barbie guitars right next to you.
The reason being, Anil, I can't afford the real ones.
Well, no shit. That's not a critique. Like, I'm not saying you should have.
I want somebody to make the Thunderbird. White Thunderbird with the Christopher Tracy real dog.
Man,
that'd be cool.
Somebody do it. Dear State. Ooh.
I'll do one. I'll do all of them. I have this one, and then
it's cute.
The one I really want that I don't have is the yellow cloud. I think there's a yellow cloud, and I don't.
It is.
They didn't make a blue one, but I would love to have the blue.
Yes, Lee. Purple Axe. That's me. I want the mini Purple Axe.
Yes.
Guitar. Dear Estate, real quick. I need the Christopher Tracy hot toy holding the record store thing.
That
would be so cool.
Yeah. Okay, Dear Estate, one more. If you could do models, next year be 40 years for Under the Cherry Moon. If you could do a model car of the Thunderbird, I know that Prince drove, that would be dope. And have the license plate, the same thing that he had on it, just a model Thunderbird. I mean, that he had in that would be a collector's item.
This is what I love about this community, right? Because if you talk to like normal civilians out in the world, and they're like, "Oh, what is a?" Because they don't know that we don't even use the word fan, right? What does a Prince fan want? They're like, "Oh, they want a model car. It's going to be a little red Corvette. That's what they want, right?" And we're all like, "Hell with that." No, we want a Cadillac. Right? And let me tell you, and we're unclear of the year. It might be 66. It might be 67.
Yeah, we are unclear of
the year. We know we want it.
Yeah.
I love sexy set.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, I love sexy set.
It goes in a circle around the set, and then people lost their minds.
That would be dope. Dear Estate, I'm trying to tell you, man.
We know they're gonna sell like 50 of them to us, right? But
hey, look, make 500.
It'd be $799.
Yeah. Oh man.
We totally buy it though.
Yes.
I can't wait for next year for sure. All right, this is Bobby Z looking all I look like he's a knight with his get up.
I thought he looked mean as hell in this. I love this one. I was like,
Oh,
look
yeah.
at him. Look at because it's so different, right? Like
Yeah.
he looked.
Yeah, so,
you
know, like
think of
tough.
John Lennon and Beatles from what I like that when I saw them with beards and stuff.
Mhm.
Kind of like that George Lucas and
I
Mark McDonald kind of vibe.
I gotta stop the presses. This is taking the cake.
Fingers.
Christopher Tracy figure wave wig. That's what I'm
Hey.
talking about, Monk Power.
I'll wear that lace front. A steak, dear estate. Tell the Christopher Tracy lace front. I'll put it on.
Limited edition.
Yeah, I'll be like,
there you go, Mike.
I give him the Bella. I do the Bella Lugosi look with it.
Yeah.
You afraid of bats?
Exactly.
Man.
Oh my God. Okay.
Man.
All right. So this is the actress from Cheers that I can't remember their name.
And he went and visited her on the set too, right? That's where
Yeah,
he
I think
met
so.
Kirstie Alley and all that.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yes. And
She
then
got to give me the guitar.
It's like a trivia contest.
Oh.
these were some of the extras.
Oh,
The
okay.
Raspberry Beret video.
They still got the
Alright,
ruffled
now.
shirts going on now. See,
Alright,
like they're
now.
on last year's model.
Yes.
But
But
y'all know these ladies, y'all phone in. Okay. Mike would love to talk to
She was
you.
like,
Mike
"That's
would
my
love to
aunt."
talk to you.
Yeah.
My
I know,
grandmama.
oh my
This
God.
is the greatest day of somebody's like aunt's life, right? She's like, let me tell you again about the story.
Yes. But I love this photo. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
beautiful.
fantastic. It really is.
Hey, boy. Hey, look. It was a time. I will say that.
Yes.
It was a time.
And this is so someone
who
in
I'm
the
talking
chat said this was Nia Peoples, but is it Nia
No.
Peoples?
No.
I
Nah.
didn't think so.
What's
Nah.
That's
Man. She was on Fame by that point.
That's some all look same shit. You can't do that.
Nia Peoples, man? That would be who would that be for? That would be what's that girl with? She just had the tiny desk out.
Oh, okay. Hey, Marie.
That's how, in my mind that was. She didn't Nia Peoples.
That's
I'm
not.
just
You
calling.
can't.
I know.
Again, you know. I'm sorry, but look at his hair here. Come on now.
Yeah, I think it's
that's a wig.
a wig.
That's a wig. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. That's rough.
Yeah. Thanks for confirming it's not Nia Peoples because I didn't think this was Nia Peoples. It doesn't look like anyone we've seen before. It just seems I don't know if she's in other videos, but I've never seen her before or since.
I forgot about
That didn't even look close.
But man,
to
she
me.
got a solo dance shot in the video though, man. She got some nice
and she
camera
was good
time.
too. She's
Yeah,
like
she
she's
was
moving.
Yeah,
She was
she
great.
was.
Yeah, but she got some camera time.
Yeah.
That's right. She was married to Howard.
All right. Okay.
Nia Peoples had her own show, Party Machine.
She sure did.
That was on after Arsenio, syndicated.
Yep.
Huh. I didn't know that.
See?
Okay, here we go. The chat is coming through. The Cheers actress's name was Jackie Swanson. I knew I was like, I can't remember what her
There we
name was.
go.
Jackie Swanson. Okay.
And she was Woody Harrelson's girlfriend on the show, I think.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
That's not Prince's usual type.
Yeah. But there are actually, if you I don't remember but they actually corresponded. So there are some letters that Prince wrote to.
This was her professional debut, it says. According to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was paid $35.
And
every
money's
penny.
the exposure.
Worth every penny.
It's the exposure.
Yeah, really well.
I handed Prince his
guitar.
guitar. Yeah.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah,
That's fine.
it's fine. All right. So Ricky, do you want to read Wednesday, June 5th?
Sure. Wednesday, June 5th. Raspberry Beret video mix for the Tears in Your Eyes. Multiple takes. Tracking mix. Mobile Master say recording studio. Unknown lockout. Prince says producer, artist Prince in Revolution. Engineer the Susan Rogers. Susan Rogers was tasked with creating a proper audio mix for the two videos. After the videos were shot, Prince flew back to Minneapolis for his birthday gathering. Want me to keep going?
No, we're gonna have Michael. Michael, will you read about the birthday, Friday, June 7th?
All right. Venue, Prom Ballroom, St. Paul, Minnesota. Attendance approximately 250. Prince's 27th birthday was celebrated with a masquerade party and a live concert at the St. Paul Prom Ballroom. The celebration was also intended to recognize his latest album, Around the World in a Day, but his performance reflected none of its contents. Instead, he and the Revolution ran through several as yet unreleased tracks, including A Love Bazaar, Mutiny, Sometimes It Snows in April, Draws Burning, and a jam on Holly Rock, as well as Irresistible B.I., including James Brown's Body Heat, Possessed, and The Bird. Damn. The following day, Prince flew back to Los Angeles. Boy, is that show circulating anywhere?
The audio is.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that in the accompanying playlist? I'm about to check that out.
I didn't have time, but I'm gonna because D68
D68.
upload it and I'll make sure it's in the accompanying playlist. Thank you so much,
D68 coming through because they playing Body Heat again. Boy, Body Heat is just the gift that keeps on giving. That's a jam that don't go away.
Is there any more classic Prince thing to do? Celebrate the new album by not playing any songs on it?
Right?
Let me tell you about the next thing.
Yeah. Crazy,
I'm tired of this. I'm bored. I'm going to the next thing.
Yeah. It's a for the funk version. All right. So I have some images from the birthday. So this is the invite, one of them, because there's a couple floating out. So you are requested to attend Around the World in a Day Masquerade Ball, Prom Center, 1190 University Avenue, St. Paul. There's the phone number, Friday, June 7th, 7 p.m. until 3 a.m. Best costume will be judged at midnight. Admits you and one guest. No costume, no admittance. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then this is one of the napkins, and this is some red. There's also a blue one that I forgot to put in. So they had the blue one is actually my favorite, and I didn't even put it in. So my apologies. But I want to read that little clip that's in the picture really quick if I can find it. Sorry, I closed it out. 19.
Already know you.
All right. So
Go ahead.
according to Dr. Google, everybody's saying it is Nia Peoples in this Raspberry Beret video.
Really?
And I'm looking up. There's a bunch of references to it, but I'm like,
I got Flag on the play with that one.
man, I don't know. I know.
Certain it's not Nia Peoples.
I know Google says it, but I'm still.
I
don't think that's
a part of it is because like some of these references don't say. I don't know.
If that were Nia Peoples, I think we would have heard that.
Yeah, I was like,
it feels like one of the things that somebody puts on the internet once and everybody copies and pastes it.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And
it is on her Wikipedia page now, but anybody can do that.
Yes, exactly. All right. Okay, here I got it. Rockstar Prince and 800 friends held a purple masquerade at the Prom Center in St. Paul to celebrate his 27th birthday. Prince flew in people from all over the United States, said Harry Given, owner of the Prom Center. It's great, Given said. It's a masquerade and the ballroom's never been decorated like this in my 30 years. Inside were giant spiral purple staircases, 2 big brass beds, glittery booths, candles everywhere, mirrors, mannequins, international food stations, pinball machines, and a carnival atmosphere, according to one guest. All right. And
okay,
I'm kind of thrown off. What was the purpose of the beds? That was just for decoration.
That's the vibes, right?
Jesus,
like, come on.
It's like, yo, I'm gonna put
this Prince. We gotta have some beds.
I'm gonna put some beds in here.
No Diddy.
All right, so yes, no, we won't even. Yes, okay. All right, so this is a letter from someone who sold some of this stuff. And this is, I, Marie Kruger, was invited to go with my boss friend who worked part-time at Richfield Floral and Events, who was providing the flowers, decor, etc. for Prince's local gigs, events at the time. I was told Bobby Z's mother worked at Richfield Floral, which is how they ended up being the florist. The evening was magical. It was dimly lit with primarily candles with stunning decor that included peacock feathers and big brass beds with lush linens. Everyone was dressed in costumes and I was in awe. I remember a beautiful woman wearing only a tight white lace one-piece suit and recall feeling sorry for a man whose costume was a table and chair. There were several food stations set up to represent different cultures, countries with the appropriate foods. The desserts were in a separate room, and I recall the beautifully decorated little petite fours with little napkins to put them on. Two are included in this collection. When the music started, Sheila E., everyone quit mingling about and gathered near the stage. Next up were the family, and finally Prince. Now, see, I didn't know that the family performed at this until I read this. Prince was dressed in what I would loosely describe as a pirate. He had on tight leggings and a flowy white shirt, looser than the Purple Rain era, that was untucked. It was the first time I had seen him perform, and I knew I was witnessing greatness. I remember when Sometimes It Snows in April started, I was taken aback as I hadn't heard that one before. I now realize that was the first time he performed it live. It is also the only time he ever played Draws Burning, which apparently he never officially recorded. Prince thanked everyone for coming and said, though he was leaving, we were welcome to stay a bit. There was some confusion as everyone started heading to the front to see him leave. I headed for the back. I somehow found a back door and once outside, hid behind a large shrub and waited. Soon after, I heard the door open, and assuming it was security coming for me, I stayed down. A large man walked by me, followed by Prince. I jumped up and said hi. Both the bodyguard and Prince jumped. The bodyguard looked mad, and Prince just looked surprised. I pulled my invite out of my back pocket and asked him if he'd sign it. He took it and was handed a Sharpie from the bodyguard and signed it. When he handed it back to me, I told him thank you, and he nodded and smiled.
Hey, that was nice of him.
Yes, very nice.
That's as good as it gets with him.
Yeah. I mean, one thing about it, when he did celebrate birthdays, he always knew how to throw a party, because it was always a performance followed by it.
Mm-hmm.
Party man. He rocks the party like nobody can.
Yeah. Hey man, like he used to
hate being the center of attention, right?
And it's crazy now, because back then, like, we would read about those things, like a month later, and then now there's audio. Thanks, D68.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's, we get to hear that. I didn't know the family opened up, and I wanted to. Do you have that also, D68? Is that on the audio as well? Can you let us know?
I don't know about the family. I think it's maybe just Prince's set, but I could be wrong about that. So here's also a green napkin, and you can see the Masquerade mask on the CD Aura, and you can see Love God. Like, I'm assuming that's his signature there. And then this is another invitation here with the drawing on the front.
Is that drawing by Prince?
I would it's either Prince or Susanna. It might be Susanna.
It feels like those vibes, or maybe they did together.
Yeah.
I feel like they were always doing that kind of stuff, right? Just these little collage drawing things.
Yeah. Because, like Michael, that Susanna did the Dream Factory cover, the one that's been floating around, and this feels very Dream Factory-ish to me. And so here's a couple of other articles. The little bitty one, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do want to read this half of it. And it says, its owner said about $20,000 was spent on decorations. $20,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Including purple spiral staircases, the 2 brass beds, and the pinball machines. Apollonia and members of Prince's family also attended the party, which included a performance by Relaxed and Friendly Prince, plus 2 new bands he's producing, Maserati and The Family, the latter featuring members of The Time. So if I'm reading this correctly, not only did The Family perform and Sheila E., but also Maserati.
Apollonia is still hanging around? The 60 grand today's dollars. That's a lot for one party.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Right. I'm kind of surprised that Apollonia is still hanging around, right? Because there's not a lot going on. Like, the record's dead by then, right?
Yeah. She was about to make her appearance on Falcon Crest, so it was good publicity, I guess.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna read this other one, then I'll be done reading. But I find some of these details interesting. Okay, so in keeping with Prince's new toned down image, the fete resembled more a high school prom than a rock star's birthday bash. Chiffon streamers billowed above the dance floor where belly dancers and fairy princesses tripped the light fantastic with cowboys and Indian chiefs amid balloons, tinsel, and thousands of fresh flowers. It says thousands of fresh flowers, okay? 2 brass beds and an antique-style bathtub. Relics of Prince's stage set were prominently displayed but remained unused. Several doves cooed in cages, hanging throughout the 4 party rooms. One dove did more than cry, however. She keeled over and died. Sorry, why did they do this?
Brutal.
Yo, all right.
Starchly uniformed waiters and waitresses were with stifled grins and darting eyes bustled about as they invited guests, including Apollonia, Des Dickerson, Jerome Benton, and Andre Simone, dine on a buffet feast featuring Creole, seafood, Chinese, and soul food selections. That's a great spread. Creole, seafood, Chinese, and soul food. The guest of honor arrived a little before midnight. He was dressed as a pirate in white tunic with white tights and white high-heeled ankle boots, a large sword dangling from his thick black leather belt. But also, it's not in this article, but Eddie Murphy was also invited to this party, and Eddie Murphy was also dressed up as a pirate. So there were 2 pirates. And I think I remember reading that Eddie said that he was a better pirate between him and Prince. Okay. The new Prince is no longer petulant and pouting, but smiling and winsome with a short haircut and no makeup. No makeup. He grinned as the crowd broke into...
I mean, they say it, doesn't mean it's true.
Well, yeah, that's true. And the crowd broke into a robust chorus of happy birthday and responded with a 90-minute jam session featuring The Revolution, Sheila E., and 2 new additions to the Royal Court, Maserati and the Family. The set consisted of mostly new material, including the haunting ballad, Sometimes Knows, with a smattering of older songs such as Irresistible Bee. Between songs, Prince chatted amiably with the audience, begged his father to stop taking pictures. Papa Nelson was the only guest permitted to bring a camera inside. Love to see
my boy. I take you goddamn. Stop raising it.
And awarded the best costume prize to Sheila E., who was virtually unrecognizable as a man, complete with mustache, sideburns, and a rolled up sock in her undershorts.
Lord.
She was Morris.
Lord.
Perhaps. Finally, after bringing his mother and little brother on stage for an impromptu stomp, Prince waved goodnight and danced off stage. But his party was still not over. Unlike the old Prince who did his thing and split, the birthday boy stuck around until most of his guests had departed. Then he made his way out to the lobby where he and a few aides gathered up his many gifts, loaded them into his car, and sped away into the night. And that was written by Stephanie Jones.
Sounds like a great party.
I know. And can you imagine? I mean, you're a teenager working at that ballroom, and you show up for work that day, and they say, "Hey, look, we got a party going on. You got to be staffed." You're like, "Okay," you go in, and it's a Prince party. And you and your black and whites, you like, "Oh my goodness!" You can't go call nobody. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's like no way to take pictures. Then you got to go home and tell your friends, "Hey, guess what? I was at a Prince party last night."
People weren't used to having pictures of everything back then either, right?
Yeah.
Like you didn't just have your camera with you and you were going to get your film developed in 2 weeks and all that, right? So it was just like you just did tell people.
Yeah, it's like the hotel staff was just totally mind blown.
I think that's what's hard to explain to kids is like you didn't have a selfie or nothing, right? Like you just,
right. There's no documenting of it. It's in your head.
Like who's going to have this, your Minolta Polaroid, whatever, right? Like it's like you didn't have it. That's it. That you just had to tell somebody. They just had to believe you.
So this is a screen grab of what the party looked like from a BBC 3.
It does look like a prom.
Yeah, it looks like a prom for sure.
That's a lot of color.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of color.
But that's what the album cover is like. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
All right. So again, these were all the songs. Love Is Our Mutiny, Drum Solo, Sometimes It Snows, Irresistible, Possessed, The Bird, Draws Burning, and Holly Rock. And
Chris playing a drum solo?
that's a good question.
Sheila, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see the video for this.
Because they got Love Bizarre, they got Holly Brock, Sheila's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I mean, I only asked because he did do like the America thing where he played the drum.
True. He's in that mode.
So
yeah,
would have been in that mode to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So far in 1985, Prince has written 38 songs roughly and had 58 studio sessions. Okay.
Wow.
What we know, as Anil Dash would say, and Anil is with us today. Yes, I love saying that. Okay, Doc break. Last night, I went to the Boy George and Culture Club documentary, and half of the Culture Club.
Really?
Yes, it was really fantastic. It was a really great doc. I learned a lot, and it's really important. It was really important because I'm having a side conversation with some Prince people about Prince's new wave rockabilly songs, and we're in a bit of argument about some of the songs. So I was hoping to get some insight from the documentary. And the only thing I really got, there's like new wave was never mentioned in this documentary. Rockabilly was mentioned, as well as the New Romantics and the Blitz Kids and all of that. So if you have an opportunity to see it once it's officially released, I highly recommend it. They were able to talk to all 4 members, and it was a really, really great doc.
Was it well, so you said it was. I was going to ask, like, was it more informative than the Behind the Music that was on VH1 years ago?
I didn't see the Behind the Music, but the thing is, like, there are recent interviews with them.
Okay.
Like, they were all interviewed like recently, and it's interesting to see the interview footage from real time versus them, reacting to that footage now.
Okay.
There's a couple things. I thought it was odd that the filmmaker chose to name this documentary Boy George and Culture Club when in the documentary they went to great lengths. All three of them except for Boy George, obviously, didn't like it when Boy George was singled out because they considered themselves as a band.
Yeah.
And so that the filmmaker would name it Boy George and Culture Club, I thought was very odd. And the filmmaker was there, and I really wanted to ask the question, but it was too many people asking questions, not enough time. And also I didn't want to be disrespectful. The other thing I really wanted to talk about that's touched upon a little lightly was Boy George's drug abuse, and how by the time he started using drugs, the members in the band who were using drugs had stopped. So it was really interesting. And I always wondered, like, when you're surrounded by people who are taking drugs and you're not taking drugs and then they stop, well, why would you start? It's just, I just thought that was really interesting.
I didn't even know there was a drug component. I don't know a lot about their story, but
yeah.
I just
will
remember.
confess, I don't really.
I thought they were black when I first heard the music. Before I seen the video, I was like, "Oh, this is dope."
They got a ton of play in R&B charts. I mean, that was I think where they core audience for them. But I will confess, I don't really mess with George too much because he and I got into it on Twitter years ago.
Oh no!
And I love their music. I was a huge fan.
He said was his past hits.
No, I mean that's real. Well, because the conversation was about appropriation.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And he was sort of like, nothing's appropriation. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want. And I was like, it's about respect, right? Like, there's always the thing. I was like, you did a ton of reggae music, you did a ton of R&B music, you did a ton of genres that you were able to succeed in with artists, with communities and artists that supported you. And I had written a piece about PM Dawn, who had sampled them and had put George on their records. And I was like, you have to move with respect about people who put you on and communities that supported you. And I didn't like how he came at that. And because I know nothing about this documentary, I would guess it's called that because George probably insisted on it being called that to promote it and support it. It very seldom is the case that that's not how those things happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's sort of the same thing. It's like, there's a way you can move through the world as to, how you sort of carry those things. But I mean, on the other hand, I do think they are one of those acts that is, if anything, underrated in terms of their impact on the world. I mean, one of the things I remember, like, probably, there's this couple years of the greatest Grammys ever, like 83, 84, 85, where, Michael's racking up all his hits. Obviously, Prince shows up. And they win an award. I think they won Best New Artist. And, like, Boy George comes on and he's like, "Thank you, America, for knowing a great drag queen when you see one." And it's scandalous, man. You have, like, it's like, I mean, you couldn't say that shit now. You know what I mean? Like, people would lose their minds, right? And you're talking about 40 years ago to come on and say that. And then you have Eurythmics come out, and Annie Lennox is in drag. She's dressed basically as Elvis. And they do Sweet Dreams, and they come do their song. And I'm just like, man, they just blew this up, right? They just came out with, like, as radical a gender position as you can have in the span of like 20 minutes on the biggest show. When like a third of the country would watch the Grammys. That is courageous. I think there's no two ways about it. And the music was good. You can't front on it. Like, the music's very good. So I think they're important. I think he was very pro Prince at various times. I think he was very supportive of it. But I definitely think he's somebody that he does not have his band's back. That's rough, man.
Yeah. The thing is, like, that was actually a big part of the documentary, that, that award show. And when he said that was like sort of the climax of the entire documentary. It was based around that one thing. That was one thing. And another thing that really struck me, I don't know why I'm googling on myself. That's weird. I didn't do anything. Is he doesn't own the rights to the Culture Club's music, which is, this brings me to tears. I mean, just to know that none of them own that music, and that they were huge. So whoever has the royalties for their music is just like, it's just insane that they're not able to reap the benefits of the work that they did. Because some of those songs are like brilliant, like, Do You Want to Hurt Me, and Time, and you like really, really great songs.
Yeah, but Time still cranks.
Yeah.
Time still.
I mean, he can sing too. I mean, that guy's got a voice. Like, that's there's no, can't pretend about that.
Yeah, I mean, I asked about the VH1 thing because I remember, like, that was one of the first behind the music, like, that they did. And
was it?
It was one of the first ones, and it was like very talked about because
because that's when the first time we found out that he was in a relationship with a dude in the band. Like,
and it was so informative. It was like this new thing, say, behind the music and all that, and it was like we didn't know a lot about him, so.
Yeah,
I'm sure this documentary picks up from maybe where that may have kind of fills in some holes and things of that nature. But hey, I'm always down for a good music doc. I mean, especially from a a band from my time period. So I definitely check that out.
All right, so we're at the end of our time together. I love Bubba Mitchell bringing it on home here with Happy Birthday to Prince. And before we end, does anyone want to say anything special for Prince Day to commemorate this day of Prince Day?
I'll say something. I am as we celebrate today, I am extremely grateful to have experienced Prince Rogers Nelson in real time. To say he was influenced me like musically would be an understatement. He, as he was growing, I was growing. When he kind of got to the thing where he wasn't eating meat, I couldn't get on that bandwagon. but I understood, like hey, like maybe I do need to scale back on my meat intake. You know what I'm saying, and do some things differently. And he was just. He was just so influential in so many ways to so many people. Like for musicians, artists, writers, poets, dancers, just all of those things, man. And so, when we do the Dear Estate moments, it's because it's like I said once before. So we want them to win, and we want people to recognize a genius that said we know he is, and we want to celebrate that. And so. I take today, I mean, especially just say, I know he didn't celebrate his birthdays after a while, but I always choose to celebrate him because I want him to win. I want his work to be recognized. I want him to be celebrated. I'm gonna continue to do that, and I'm gonna celebrate the music and celebrate the man. You know what I'm saying? For all, I know for all he was and still is to so many of us. So
Yeah.
So in the chat, someone had posted about the Purple Takeover in New Orleans. So if you're in New Orleans or know someone in New Orleans, DJ Soul Sister is doing her annual tour in New Orleans. And tonight it's going to be at Tipitina's at 9 p.m.
I have to let Ted know.
Oh yeah, we have to let Ted know. Yep, for sure. All right, like everybody knows, for me, every day is Prince Day. I think, Ricky, you said it all. Like, it's such a privilege to be able to have grown up with Prince in real time. Like my mama said, he's just like family. He's always been like family. Like, he's just part of family. He's a part of everyday life, and we love him. And that's the reason why we're here every Saturday to read about his work ethic. So we're grateful for Duane's books. And if Anil and Michael, you don't want to say anything, Michael, take us on home.
Well, Anil, if you want.
I might just say briefly. I mean, I think obviously he was ambivalent about celebrating his birthday, but he changed his mind about a lot of things. So maybe he would have been celebrating it again by now. I think it's remarkable for somebody who was the best at what he did. You look at whether it's what he did as a composer, what he did as an instrumentalist, what he did as a performer, what he did on stage. He was that good in all those things, and to be a pioneer in what he did fighting for artists, what he did in inventing where the music industry was going to go, what he did in advocacy and philanthropy, all these other things. I mean, I think it's just amazing to be that good at that many things, and that we are finding new ways to be inspired by it, all these years later. I think that's that. How can you not be blown away by that? How can you not be inspired by that? And then that the legacy is we're still finding community with each other, right? I meet people who are the best at what they do. I see all of you and to have made these connections and find people that are just brilliant in the lane that each of you are in, the people in the community that I connect to, and to go, I'm not kidding. I've been in the walls of the White House back when that meant something, and meet people who are Prince fans, and to go and meet, senior executives at Google, and then be like, you're one of us, right? Like, you're down with Prince. And to be wherever you go, the people who are on their game at the best of the best, and they're like, I'm inspired by that guy. That's something special, So I think that thing is the legacy. Yeah, of course in music, of course in culture, but then in every realm beyond, the people who are like, I want to be pushing the boundaries, fighting the fight, doing the best thing. That's who they look to.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Love it. Well, after that, all I can say is thank you to everybody who's joined us today. Salute to Celie, who had to leave early for the birthday party. Let's enjoy this Prince Day in whatever capacity that we can. Keep your eyes open. We're probably going to come back a little later. We're going to just rock out some music, vibe out. But and then also everyone out there in celebration, man, have a great time. Enjoy the moment of it there at the Mecca. Hopefully we'll hear some release dates from this future releases panel. I got my eyes open for that. But all of that to say, work it like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace. Everybody take care.
Peace. Happy birthday, Prince. Oh, Lord.